Welcome to We Speak English Good TV. I am your announcer, Optimus Prime. Now, put your hands together, get ready to transform and roll out for your host, Mike E.V.
Oh, snappies. What is going on? What's up, Bon Bon? What's up, Pizza Jams? Thank you for that. Just one. Are you sure you don't want two? No, I'm not doing two. Anyways, I don't feel like doing two right now, but I will do one. So, fair enough. I'll do a quick melodica solo for Pizza Jams because he asked so nicely and he uses fresh bars because, hey, it's all about them fresh bars, baby. Happy Friday, Bon Bon. Thank you. I hope you're having a great day. My heart and thoughts go out to the folks in Canada on the west side, British Columbia, which is underwater right now, which is crazy, going hand in hand with our crazy time of existing on Earth as humanity and our ever-growing global warming situation. So hearts and minds, thoughts and hearts going out to the folks in British Columbia and all the folks of Canada. Climate change is a magical thing, isn't it? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's very magical, and I feel very bad that those people have to be on the crappy end of that magic. It sucks. Have you guys seen the pictures or the video? It is nuts, man. It's underwater over there. I didn't know that British Columbia could go underwater, but I guess all these cities are going to go underwater eventually. So what am I talking about? Who knows? I don't know. We got a lot to get through here. Today's guest, which I'm they're out there. Well, I mean, I guess I could pull up the bad news, right? Flooding BC. So here we go. State of emergency in oh no. There we go. So state of emergency. Canada, storm floods. Yeah, it's crazy. AccuWeather. Where's the videos though? Yeah, so anxiety builds. I bet, man. I mean, this shit sucks. Look at it. So,
a calm day here. A far cry from the crashing water that washed this barge ashore earlier this week.
This is the cause of our actions as such, right? So we have to rethink how we respect the environment.
The crisis is prompting people to prepare. Abda Mahmood packed emergency kits for her children's cars this week.
Hold on. Are they serious?
With many major roads cut off,
thank you.
Supply
Thank you,
issues
dude.
across the province, from gas stations to grocery stores.
Well, we've been here 4 hours, and now they discovered that the tanks are dry. So we're just sucking the last couple of dollars left.
Oh, man.
In the Fraser Valley today, some essential trucks were able to make it to Chilliwack, but still, problems remain.
You know, we don't have a lot of groceries. We're running out of water. We have the fear of not just the flood, but
Coquihalla will take
much
longer.
Shit!
We're doing what we can.
Hold on.
Will take much longer.
We're doing what we
the
can.
Fuck?
Everything.
That doesn't look like a flood. That looks like infrastructure crumbling.
The province hopes to open more roads in the coming days. The Coquihalla will take much longer.
We're doing what we can, everything we can, to reestablish transportation links around the province.
And today, Ottawa said more help is coming, including 120 soldiers right away, with hundreds more of them.
Yeah, it's awful. Lots of awful things going on in the world, but you know.
Brought to you by Pfizer. Fuck you. Pay me.
What the fuck? Wait a second. How did that happen? How about we stop building that fucking pipeline, focus on repairing our country? I exactly agree. Dang, I didn't even get the live notification. That's how we do it, son. That's how we do it now. We're not telling nobody nothing. We're just going for it. All right, we got a lot to get through. And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this quick. Let's do it with the Oakland beat. Yeah. Here we go. There it is. The world is on fire, but we're still got melodica. We still got the melodica going. Anyways, thank you for those, for using your Fresh Bars Pizza Jams. I appreciate you, my friend. So we got, I do want to say we got a special week next week. I'm very happy to announce that Reina and I, next week, both shows are going to be music streams. Super happy about that. So on fuck, dude. I gotta say, I went into this with like a lot of crazy energy, and so this is me. Yeah, I know. I'm like, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I'm sexually frustrated. That's it. That's all. I'm just sexually frustrated. Maybe just frustrated in general. I don't know. No, it was so next week we got music streams with Jason Tyler Black. He's coming back on Monday to do a live music stream with me. So it's gonna be how we did last time. Thank you, Reina, for that. Woo. It's gonna be like we did last time, where we're not gonna be taking requests. We're just gonna be chatting and playing songs. So I like that format, and you guys seem to like it too. But then on Friday, next Friday, Reina, Mystique, and myself will be doing a live music stream, raising money for our friend Marianne, or Emcee Life. She's in need right now, and she's a huge supporter of the music community, and we are so happy to be doing a fundraising stream for Marianne. So please do come on through. We're going to be playing music, taking requests, and doing all that good shit. I'm very excited. Next week is Music Week. So, okay. So I got a couple of things here. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Kyle Rittenhouse is not guilty on all charges, which I don't really have a big opinion on that. I mean, we went through this on Monday, and you guys know where I stand on that. And hey, I don't know if this is anything to celebrate. I'm not celebrating this shit, you know. Like the thing is, the little dipshit ran out into violence, probably looking for trouble, but trying to help, I'm sure. I'm sure there was a mixture of everything. And you know, he ended up shooting some people and in self-defense. And I agree that was self-defense. But what the fuck was a 17-year-old doing out there with a fucking automatic rifle? Dipshits. So anyways, that just broke. Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty on all charges. So there you go. I suspect that Kenosha will be burning tonight. There was a lot of people who were very upset about this, obviously. You know, and for, you know, like, here's the thing. I understand why people are upset. I get it. You know, like the things are crazy right now. You're hearing all kinds of different stories from everybody. So, you know, my heart goes out to Kenosha. Good luck, Kenosha. I hope your guys' fire department is up and operational. Jesus. Moving on. Fuck Kyle Rittenhouse. Let me see here. Moving on. I'll just get him out of here. I got a warning today in my email. I woke up today and boom. Hello, We Speak English Good. Our team has reviewed your content, and unfortunately, we think it violates our hate speech policy. We've removed the following content from YouTube. Okay, and this is Nick Natoli. No surprise here. Fuck you, Kyle. Moving on. Yes, what's up, Movie Dutchman? Welcome in. So apparently now I'm a hate speech guy. You know, I didn't know that. I didn't know that me and my mixed race family was a bunch of haters of stuff. We know that this might be disappointing. First of all, if my hate speech, thank you, whoever followed. I can't see that. Oh, Firecliffs. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for following me. Nathan Hubbard just followed me. He's on Twitch now. Welcome to the Twitch world, Nathan. You mute yourself, sir. We're not ready for you yet. I gotta sit here and complain about YouTube. So we know this might be disappointing. First of all, if you were someone who was putting out hate speech, would you be disappointed? I don't know. No. So this is a warning. This is a warning. But it is important to us that YouTube is a safe place for all. If content breaks our rules, we remove it. If you think we've made a mistake, you can appeal and we'll take another look. Keep reading for more details. So here's what they're saying. Content glorifying or inciting violence against another person or group of people is not allowed on YouTube. We also don't allow any content that encourages hatred of another person or a group of people based on their membership in a protected group. What does protected group mean? We review educational document. I thought we were all protected. Aren't we all protected? We review educational, documentary, artistic, and scientific content on a case-by-case basis. Limited expectations are made. Exceptions are made for content with sufficient and appropriate context and where the purpose of posting is clear. So they didn't tell me what it was, but I'm sure, Nick Natoli, he was coming on the show and he was talking about vaccines and shit. So it doesn't really surprise me, but it pisses me off. And this is exactly what the fuck I'm talking about when they're talking about silencing artists, silencing people who are just trying to express them fucking self and trying to ask questions against a fucking tyrannical government and fucking and corporate fucking media. It's insane. I'm sorry. I know this is probably not the best time to do this, but fuck you, YouTube. And this is why I'm uploading my shit to fucking other platforms, because I'm not dealing with this shit. I'm not dealing with it. And we talk about a lot of shit on the show, and I know it gets uncomfortable at times, but I don't sit here and fucking, anytime we talk about anything controversial, I always fucking preface it. I always tell people fucking especially when we talk about vaccines, you gotta be so careful about vaccines. Again, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. Go get vaccinated, folks. Go fucking do that if you want to. It's just, I always preface it. It's like, if anytime we talk about like conspiracy theories or anything like that, I always preface this shit. And so people can make their decision on whether or not you want to be here for it or not. Like Moving Dutchman one day, he was like, I'm out. I don't want to hear about conspiracy theories. So Moving Dutchman bounced. And I'm like, I respect that. I respect the shit out of it. It's just, you're going to fucking silence people because they're showing concerns about shit. Okay. Susan Wojcicki, such a hater. I don't know who that is. At least it wasn't me. YouTube knows I love Mexicans. Thank you, Moving Dutchman. I miss Monday. Used to have a permit to carry and no longer own any guns. He's still going to have civil lawsuits. Who goes innocently to a riot with a semi? I get it exactly, Pet. Dude, I completely agree with you. But when you look at the footage, it clearly shows that these guys, the people who were chasing him, were very intentionally trying to kill him. He's screaming, I'm going to kill him. Look, don't hate me. I'm not a racist, I promise. I think he's a fucking idiot. I think Kyle Rittenhouse was a fucking moron. Whoever his parents are, probably fucking idiots for letting their 17-year-old son go with a loaded rifle into a fucking violent riot. But then again, I get the Midwest mentality. Of protect your home, especially the cops weren't doing shit. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Either way, I feel like the city of Kenosha is going to burn. I feel like even if he was found not guilty, Kenosha was going to burn. Okay, let's move on. I'm sorry I'm getting everything fucked up. Here's some music news, and then we're gonna move into our guest because it's just I'm sorry. It's been a fucked up day and a fucked up morning, and I'm just in that place right now. Hey guys, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. I found this right before I started streaming. AI-powered electronic music platform Emcee completes 20 million Series B. I don't know what that means, but what's interesting about this platform is that it's no, that's not it. That's somebody who's mad about Kyle Rittenhouse not being sentenced or not being guilty. So what's interesting about this is the AI music platform Emcee has announced the completion of a $20 million Series B funding round led by Concord stakeholder Great Mountain Partners. Whatever. Okay, so this is a 2-year startup that uses AI and artist-crafted beats to create music based upon users' preferences. Unveiled a multi-million dollar raise this morning. So I went over to Emcee and I wanted to find out what's going on and it's kind of an interesting platform. So since music has entered the digital age, music lovers have been searching for ways to move beyond recorded content. The desire to lose ourselves in music without the repetition of tracks or playlists had never been possible before Emcee. Using a combination of AI and musical ideas from artists, Emcee creates continuous music landscapes that engage and immerse. So basically, thank you, Penny. Yikes. So basically, they're using AI to and using your preferences to create soundscapes and visual sounds and visuals for hours of entertainment. We kind of talked about this when we were talking about how where AI is going and how AI is eventually probably going to be able to, since we're integrating technology into our brains, thank you Elon Musk and Neuralink, eventually we're going to have AI being able to compose music that is being drawn from our preferences, but also from our memories, from that time that the first time you got laid, to the first time you heard fucking Smells Like Teen Spirit, to the first, it's going to be able to relate all these different, connect all these different paths to create the perfect song tailored to you in this moment within your brain. I don't know. This just popped out at me as this is the start. I mean, Emcee is literally creating soundscapes to your preferences. And now once we integrate that with our brain pans, where else is that going to go? So I don't know. That stood out to me. This shit is so fascinating to me. And I thought it was a good way to get away from the fucking nonsense of what I was just talking about. Who needs artists anymore? Music will just be digitally created for each person to enjoy. Exactly. Who needs me? Fuck me. All right, guys. That's enough out of me. Fuck YouTube. Fuck Kyle Rittenhouse. Fuck you, Kyle. Fuck up your algorithm always. I put in Teletubbies and walk away for Oh shit. You know what fucks up my algorithm is learning other people's music for bands. It fucks up my Spotify playlist all day. It's just the crummiest. Now it's just all Christmas music. Since I'm learning a bunch of Christmas music for gigs, it's all Christmas music just being thrown at me. So that fucks up my algorithm the most, is learning fucking Brown Eyed Girl and then having fucking 20 other suggestions like Brown Eyed Girl on my fucking Spotify playlist. Yeah. I have problems. Real problems. Okay, everybody. Let's welcome on. Let's mic up Nathan, and Talkan. Let's get into this. Let's welcome our guests today, all the way from San Diego, California, Nathan Hubbard and Talkan.
Brought to you by Pfizer. Fuck you. Pay me.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. What's up, guys? Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for the claps and all the woos and all this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the sound alerts so we can get through this. But I will say this. I want to welcome and thank our new sponsor.
Brought to you by Pfizer. Fuck you. Pay me.
Thank you, Pfizer. Thank you for bringing us our news, our entertainment, our politicians, our vaccines. We really appreciate it. And you're bringing this wonderful podcast with our guests today, Nathan Hubbard and Todd Can. How you guys doing today?
Yo, how you doing?
What's up?
I've had quite a morning, if you couldn't tell. I don't know how much you guys caught of that, but it's been a mess. It's been a mess. I'm sorry you guys had to walk in on that. I really am. But this is where we're at, folks.
We've been eating pickled peppers, so we're ready for you.
Damn, pickled peppers? Yeah. Did you pick a pack of them?
Pick a pack of
something like that.
Mother.
So you guys were out picking a pack of pickled peckers.
Yep.
Okay. Do you grow your own food, Nathan? Is that what you're saying? That you did pick your own pack?
No. Well, I mean, a couple little veggies here and there, tomatoes, and no. But I've been doing, especially if there's a bunch of peppers, I'll buy a grip of them and either dry them or pickle them just for storage.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to.
Did you guys find yourself like stocking up over the pandemic and like did you guys take up any like I'm growing my own vegetables now because I don't know what the state of the world is? Did you guys have any?
Definitely.
You guys had those moments?
My wife will readily admit she has a black thumb, so but she put some time in trying to grow some tomatoes.
Yeah, I got
you guys got the tomatoes.
Yeah, I got a bunch of tomatoes.
Hey, Michael, thank you for that follow. Oh, you got some tomatoes, talking?
A whole bunch, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Tomatoes, peppers, got a lemon tree now. Not over the pandemic, but just, always.
Yeah.
I
grew up, my father's place, he's got an acre, and so growing up, we had lemon trees, we grew corn, strawberries, peppers, like Swiss chard, rainbow chard.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like that.
Fuck yeah, man. We did the same thing. The funny thing about us is that we didn't really have a garden. We had like a back patio with like potted plants. So like if the shit did go down, we would have at least one day of vegetables to eat. And and that's it. 1 day of eating. Michael C. Stone, welcome in, my friend. Michael Stone says, "Hi, Nathan." Hello. Wait, are you never mind, you're not that. That person's name is like Brian or Byron or something. Anyways, as soon as it starts getting cold, I get the fireplace going. Hopefully one day I'll have a real fireplace. Yes, I agree. Anyways, yeah, no, the whole pandemic. How was that for you guys? How did you guys handle that? Did you find it as a time for great creativity, or was it a time of great just shitting your pants and just holding on?
I needed to take a break from doing shows anyway. So. Honestly, I was getting burnt out, and then I was telling myself, you need to take a break from doing shows, just doing too much and burning myself out, and then the pandemic happened. So perfect timing. I haven't done a show in I think it's been a year.
Wow. And well, I mean, you guys got this new album out under Shadoe Figures, which I know Talcan you make a few appearances on, and then it's called Song of Forward, and everyone should go out and jam it, download it. I'm gonna go ahead and drop a link in the chat for you guys to get it, and go follow up Nate. Hey Nate, like that's what
Nate's fine too.
I don't even know how I address you. I mean, we've known each other for a while, and I think it's always like dude or man. It's like, hey man.
Hey bro, how's it going?
Hey brah. Anyways, so with Shadoe Figures, I mean, are you guys planning on doing any kind of live performances with this?
We've been trying to figure that out. I mean, the idea with this was just I had a bunch of beats sitting around, and then with the pandemic, I was writing more beats, and I spent a bunch of time fixing up this room that you see behind you, and and messing with my technology and stuff. So I was just sending stuff out to people. I sent a bunch of beats to Tall Can and a bunch of other people. And then people were sending me back verses. And I thought, okay, maybe I should. I've never done that. I've always had bands. And I've never done it where I just presented myself as like a producer. So I was always, like producing bands, or like I was, the drummer and the producer or something, but never just as a producer / beat maker. So I that was sort of the idea, and we put that together. So there's, and this is, I think, I'm trying to do 3. We'll see how that happens. The idea was to have a full length done, and of course, it was taking forever, and I wanted to get something out, and I had a few things done. So we put just a 5-song EP out, and from that, kind of building up on that. And then, figuring out how to do live is kind of weird, because it's just every track is a different lineup of MCs.
Right.
So we're just still trying to figure that out.
Yeah. I mean, because you were working with Parker Edison.
Yes.
What did you guys
Parker Meridian.
Yeah, the Parker Meridian, where that was an actual, like, that was you guys like sold that as a hip hop like outfit, like a band, right? Like that was something. You guys were a collective of musicians, and Parker's a musician. I don't know why I even said it that way. You were a bunch of musicians, and Parker. No, Parker is an incredible artist. But you guys sort of sold it in that fashion, and so I could see how that could be challenging, especially you have so many different artists, and you had Al on, which was really cool. It was nice to see Al out there spitting some rhymes again and doing his thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Al is I mean, it's funny because the first time I ever saw Al he was rapping with a band, so it's like, and then it was like poetry, but I don't know, like he has this interesting cadence, but so man, I really love that you guys I don't know what. I'm sorry, I got distracted by chat. Usually, that's how it usually works.
Look at the chat.
Yeah, it moved. They said something to me. I love Parker.
Yeah, Al Howard was great. We had done. He did this whole project called I forget what the actual title was, but it was basically 100 songs in a year.
Oh yeah, he was doing
100 songs and had different people record them, and he put out 100. It was totally ridiculous. And so we were talking about doing one of his songs. There was a brief second where he tried to put the Black Sands back together, which was a band he had quite a few years ago. And we had practiced this one song. So I helped him put that together and recorded a few of the different people, and then got that and did like a rough mix and sent it into his mixing guy.
Yeah.
So from that, I said, I know I can't really tell where he's at in terms of the spoken word and the rapping thing. But I said, I've got this track, and it would be amazing to hear you on it. And he actually sent me a rough draft. I wasn't sure, because he doesn't really, mostly at this point, he's the lyricist in all these groups, and he plays percussion.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know if he'd go for it.
Right.
And he sent me back this rough draft, and I was like, this is rad. We got to go with this. So built that track out from there. And that was kind of I have a background of working with poets a lot. Sister Rez, I worked with for years, who's a slam poet, and I worked with this poet named Roger Aplon from Chicago for many years. So doing some of that's like, beats with slam poetry. Some of it's just like sonic stuff with a poet reading kind of long form poems and stuff. So I definitely wanted to incorporate that. I have a track with Adrian from Taco Shop Poets that I'm trying to finish up, and then a few other things. So the EP like definitely has MCs, and then also like, there's sort of this gray area between spoken word poets and MCs and all these different things, depending on what you think of their cadence and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm happy to like try and like,
Jesus.
all of that.
Sorry, I accidentally started. Oh Jesus, it's going. Oh no, that's you. Oh, okay, I was like, wait, it's playing. Oh my god, dude, technology fails me constantly. So anytime I hear anything, Yes, that's very nice. Is that a real? Is that like a real Rhodes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it is. Let's listen to a little bit, just because we listened to a little bit of like what Tallcan was doing at the top of the show. So I kind of want to get a little bit of what Al is doing, just give everybody sort of a idea of what we're talking about here. I'll turn this down a bit.
Dark ahead, it's still dark ahead, it's still dark ahead, it's still dark ahead, it's still dark ahead. The tumbleweed moves through the streets. It's all a ghost town far as my eyes can see. The sun will sliver, horizon red. My rearview mirror is full of death. I caught my breath, and it was hard.
Yeah, I just want to kind of give everybody sort of an idea, just the very. I think it's awesome that you have such a variety of lyricists on your album, man. Because it's just like, I don't know. I've always had an affinity for hip hop. I've always worked with fucking rappers and in that realm. So I always love seeing these kinds of things. What do you think that there's a sort of a through line in this EP, or is there something that connects these, or is each piece sort of a standalone? Because I sort of feel a vibe going on throughout, but I don't know. I'd love to hear it from your perspective.
Yeah, it's kind of it's an interesting, like, you know how it is when you're working with artists. You send them tracks and stuff, and adding a verse or adding a hook can be kind of a challenge because you already like box them in. Like, this is what the song's about.
Right.
If you just send them a beat, they're like, this beat's cool, or I'm not feeling this. But then you send them a hook too, and they're like, oh, okay. But I like, that's sort of my background. So the idea was that I had a bunch of beats with hooks, a couple without. The Solution Shutdown didn't have a hook at all. And so I think if there's sort of a connecting tissue between all of them, it's like the production, and then also the idea that I wrote a lot of the hooks and kind of gently guided like the general topics.
I see. Yeah. No, I actually just did that with somebody where it just sort of the hook is part of like the hook is this like vocoder part that says king, queen, prince, slave. And so like that's already done, and I'm like, okay, here. So here's the hook. This is what it is, and you interpret it however you want, but here's the hook as it is. It's like prince or king, queen, prince, slave. So you interpret that however the fuck you want. But yeah, I mean, it definitely, I definitely feel that where you're sort of like influencing it. Here's what I got. Here's an idea. Here's the vibe I'm looking for. Can you kind of work around it? And so then, coming from that perspective, is there a through line that you sort of are trying to impart on the listener? Which I don't want you to. If you feel like that's kind of a bunk ass question, you could just say pass.
I don't think there is actually. I'm trying to think about it. I mean, in general, there's a little, I'm a little emo sometimes. So, in general, most of my hooks or my music, if you've listened to my music, it's definitely not happy-go-lucky. Like, we're all gonna be great. Let's play ukuleles.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Let's play ukuleles. Everything's gonna be good. So yeah, I definitely write like, a lot of the hooks are kind of on a darker thing.
Well, I mean,
and I actually had a few like people where they're like, yeah, you could tell that like maybe that there was a little bit too much of, it wasn't where they were feeling it.
Yeah.
Which is totally fine. I totally get that. Everybody. What I wanted to do was really showcase people in the best way possible. So, like if they're not feeling it, I definitely don't want to. I want them to really like get excited by it and be able to play that. Play off of that.
Yeah, for sure, man. Talking what, like you, I feel like you have a lot to say, man. What was your approach to? I mean, especially in these first couple of songs, I feel like you really are saying some shit. But what was your approach to this? Oh, thank you very much, Dex. I appreciate you. Hold on. Dex, what's going on, baby? Welcome in, welcome in. And we got a question from Penny, and we're going to get to that question right after this. What was your approach to writing your verses out on this? Writing your verses out?
I think the first song you sent me was "Marching to the Sun," I believe.
Yeah.
And he was
or no, I Speak.
Yeah. I Speak, Marching to the Sun. When he sent me I Speak, I was really feeling the beat, because it was real, like it was just the bare minimum of the root of the beat, and I just started
old school 90s hip hop.
Just started clicking to it, and just started feeling like I gotta get back into this music shit, because I haven't really been like I've been doing other projects, but I just kind of took a step back. But with this, it was like the first time I sat down and wrote a verse in a while. And first time I recorded in a while, because I don't have my own studio anymore. So we recorded this track at the apartment I'm staying at, and it was the first time I recorded with somebody else in a long time. So I just let it all kind of roll out, and a lot of the lyrics to I Speak were just things that I was writing without a beat, and I just kind of just tossed it right on the beat, and just went for it. And I was just kind of trying to explain what I've been going through personally, but also going through like the evolution of music, how shit's always changing in San Diego with the hip hop scene and stuff like that.
How has it changed?
There's a whole bunch of new stuff happening, emerging. It seems like I've only been rapping for like 8 years, but it seems like the scene's just been getting bigger and bigger. There's new cats coming out, just fools that are like hella going for it, and it's cool to see how many different styles there are now, instead of just like the same old, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of new blood, changing venues.
Yeah, a lot of old venues ain't around no more, and it's evolving, I feel like, because it's a lot of people with stuff to say right now, and I thought it was cool too, because me and Indian K have been trying to do a song together. Shout out to Indian K. We've been trying to do a song together since we met. So this all happened because of Nate.
Yeah, and I met K at Winston's for one of Alo's the the OB hip hop social.
Yeah, shout out to Alo.
And I was like, hell yeah, I like what this guy does. All this stuff. I just sat down and was like, who are my favorite local MCs?
Yeah.
I just made a list and sent them all beats and was like, And so that was great.
Hell yeah.
And Tolkien was the first person to come back to me and send me a verse, which was great. Like, he really got the ball rolling.
Nice.
Because having beats is cool, and but actually like making it happen and get people to do things,
it's tough.
It's way harder than I even imagined. Because I've always just I've worked with one person. Like, yeah, come over, we're working. Yep. We work on stuff, and we end up with stuff.
Yeah.
And when you do the whole just like, toss this shit into the wind,
yeah,
you immediately like, oh man, maybe my shit sucks. Oh, this guy didn't get back to me. Oh, what am I doing with my life?
Yo, I just went through this whole fucking thing, dude. This whole fucking thing. Just because, like, I've been trying to push this, like, I've been trying to, like, sell this or just get rappers on my fucking, like, an old school funk hip hop band or hip hop EP.
Yeah.
And, like, I reached out to some youngins. I reached out to some older cats. Ain't nobody got back. And I'm just like, man, this beat sucks then. Like, it must be me. It must be me. And,
it's totally you.
And, and it could be.
No, it's not at
well,
all.
No, it could be.
All.
No. In all seriously, though, in all seriousness, it could be that maybe it wasn't up to their standards. And that's fine. Yeah. And that's fine because, I sent it out to a young cat who's, he's like 20 and he's very much into this new hip hop, but it's emotional and it's fucking, they're talking about smoking weed and taking LSD and love and, and the environment that we're living in now. So it's like, I don't know. I get it. He's very much on that new shit. And I get it that sometimes it's not going to be that, but Anyways, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Fuck it, oh, woe is me," because the people who are gonna work with you are gonna work with you, and like I loved how your like Tall Can was the first one to get back to me and was like, "Yo, let's do it," and I love it when people are like that, and that's how it was with the person I'm working with right now. He's out of Montreal. I shout out to Ho Ho. If we get a shout out for Behind That Suit, he was like real cool about it. He was like. I was like explaining on stream, like, yo, I don't know if some people are mad at me because I said, like, my one homie that I was in a band with was, he was like actually mad at me. He's like, why the fuck you gonna send me this fucking beat? I don't know how to write to this shit. Like, he was like mad at me.
Damn.
And then like 3 months later, he's like, yo, Mike, can I use that beat you sent me for my new album? And I was like, yeah, but I wanted to use it for my album. He's like, oh, he's like, I'm gonna use it for my album. I'm like, all right. He's like, okay, bye. And now,
all right.
He's a very close friend to me. I'm not gonna, if he uses the beat, that's fine. But it's funny. It's just funny. It's weird. All that just to say that I completely understand where you're going through, because this whole last year I've been trying to put together this hip hop album and it's just completely falling apart, and I just don't even care anymore. Now I'm off to the next thing. But I'm glad that you pushed through. I'm glad that you pushed through and you made it happen, because it's good. It's good shit.
I mean, it's an interesting challenge, and everybody's got their. I didn't really think about it because I just had. I write beats that I like to hear, or I'm humming a melody or something, and I write it down, and it's pretty mellow. I don't have any like grand, I'm trying to write some 400-year masterpiece or something.
Yeah.
These are just like, pieces that I feel strongly about. But then you talk to different people, and, I was trying to get Preacher versus Choir on one of these tracks, and he's like, man, you know my thing. It's got to be slow. It's got to be grimy. And I was like, and I'm thinking like, yeah, none of those tracks fit into what you're describing. Like, okay, let me see. I got some other ones. I'll get you some other stuff.
Yeah.
I've got this that might work, but the stuff I sent you, like, definitely is. I get it. It's too fast for what you want to do. Yeah. So, like, all those things, like, I didn't really put that into my thought of like. Because I wasn't writing specifically for a certain person and their flow and what kind of stuff they deal with.
Yeah.
Like we've been, Talkan and I've been working on some stuff, and we're getting like a little bit better about that, or I'm getting better about like realizing those kind of tempos and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's got that different thing they're looking for. Everybody's got a different, very specific.
Yeah, and it's all good, because it's like, at the end of the day, if someone's not comfortable with a beat, or if they don't feel like it's going to best represent what they're trying to do, then it's best not to force that, because it's going to come through in the music, right? I mean, if someone's just like, well, I'm just going to do it because I'm going to do it, or whatever the reason is, you're not going to put your heart into it. You're not going to fully understand where, it's just not going to be a complete piece if everyone's not on board and really into it. So that's cool with me. I really don't hate on it. It's just, at first you're just like you said, it's like, do I suck? Am I just an asshole? Like, but
maybe
then you
both.
maybe both. But seriously, and I think that was a lot of it too, was that a lot of the beats were like 75 BPM, and like that's real slow. But you could still ride that shit. You could still ride a 75. I'm not a rapper, but
Oh, yeah.
Talkan, I'm interested in, how do you like pick and choose what you want to sort of write to, and what beats you want to write to? And I'll get to your questions, guys. I'm in the zone, baby.
Usually, I don't really look for the BPM, because I've done different BPMs, 96, 88, 89. Is usually like a comfort area for me, but a lot of the times I have a lot of homies who make beats, and ask them for some beats and shoot me some beats. I'll just go through them. I was doing a lot of lo-fi type of beats for a while, and just rapping over a lot of shout out to the homie Midyon, who stays in the UK. He makes a lot of lo-fi beats, and I was just going through his SoundCloud and asking if I could use them for a while, and that's how a lot of my albums and like would be formed with those beats, you know what I mean? So it would be you get like, you hear my song over this beat, and then you might hear another person's song from another country over that beat later on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like just listening to the homies' beats and trying to pick out stuff like from there, or just chopping it up with Nathan about different like records and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Santana, or talk about old Cambodian music and stuff
hey,
like that.
Hey, can we do it? I got something.
Let's go.
Wait, hold on.
Something that works for me.
Okay. Talkan had this party the other week and I missed it. And I had I brought. These are my gifts from the party that I didn't give to him. I got them right here. Look at this. Okay, number 1.
Cracking.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's
Yes,
a
sir.
good one.
Number 2.
Woo, my favorite album ever right there.
Oh
up.
shit! What is that?
That's Abraxas by Santana.
Abraxas! Dang.
Yeah, that's my favorite one right there.
Look
That's
at that.
the one.
That's number 2.
I thought that had a different cover. I thought that was the red one with
And number 3.
Oh, that's the
You
one.
see how he brought that shit up? It was magic. It was meant to be.
That's the fire.
Santana.
Yeah,
And he even gets a little box to bring it home so he doesn't destroy it whenever he gets home. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
We did it.
Man. Thank you.
Oops. There it is.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I grew up, that's all my dad would play. Just
Yeah.
Santana nonstop. Santana, Rolling Stones, or Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, dude. Well, this would actually segue really well into our first question from the chat from Deuce Penny. Influenced by Pink Floyd? ? That would fit them well. So, I mean, was Pink Floyd a part of that that nurturing process that your father laid upon you?
Well, the first time I heard Pink Floyd was actually from my stepdad, who was a super tweaker from the desert.
Oh,
and he
shit.
was from El Centro, and that dude would play Pink Floyd nonstop. And that was the first time I heard Pink Floyd. And it really
So is it
stuck with me.
associated with so is it associated with like bad memories then?
I mean, somewhat, but really, I used to steal a CD player and just listen to the motherfucker, listen to Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, and just end up with a CD player at school all day and just be listening to that while the teacher's talking and not hearing anything. So
yeah,
so I was down. I really liked the messages in Pink Floyd a lot, and there's a lot of on my first album I made with the homie Professed Emcee from Vista, he's from North County. I think he's from Vista. We sampled a lot of Pink Floyd.
Really?
A whole lot, yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the thing. My first album had I put so many songs on it, and just no one listened to all of them because it's like 21 tracks or some shit like that.
Damn.
But yeah, Pink Floyd is the shit. I love Syd Barrett. Syd Barrett was one of my main inspirations with writing. Yeah, still is today. I listen to a lot of Syd Barrett.
Dude, that dude was wild, man. That dude was
he was a trip.
I read somewhere where he used to do paintings where he would just paint a painting for like months and months at a time and then just go out in his front lawn and just burn it.
Yeah.
It's like, eh.
Which he was a strange
I
dude.
respect it, man. I respect that. It's like, I'm going to burn my art and that's just part of my art. Fuck you.
Yeah, because I mean, like him and his whole crew, when they did what they did, they set out to be rock stars. They became rock stars, and it was kind of like, okay, what now? And then there's nothing really to go to. What do you do now? And then you see really into, a lot of artists are into self-destructive behavior.
Yes, they are.
And it happens, And he was a strange dude. I think he was just done with the fame after a while. He just didn't want to be left alone.
Yeah, and LSD, too much LSD.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, too much LSD would. I mean,
yeah, definitely like shell shock.
And I mean, that's the thing too. He was doing a lot of like the Mandy's, like he was doing a lot of barbiturates, and he was putting this like cream. I forgot the exact name, but he put this cream in his hair that had like barbiturates in it, and it was just would melt down into his face.
What?
Yeah, he was a strange. Damn. Yeah, he did a lot of wild stuff.
I mean, Jimi Hendrix supposedly put in a bunch of acid in his headband for
his bandana. He got it from Owsley.
Okay.
Yeah, he got that from Owsley. It was purple.
Purple haze.
Yeah, I mean, it was. That's what Purple Haze was about. But he had got the purple LSD from Owsley, who was the chemist that used to roll around with the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, that motherfucker. And the what they call him? The Further Bus and Ken Kesey and the Merry Pranksters.
The Merry Pranksters.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys ever read that book by Tom?
Electric Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Acid Test.
Yeah. The book's crazy. That's like how to start a scene in 5 easy steps. Hold on. I'm googling this barbiturate hair cream.
Oh yeah, just look at it's on the. I'm pretty sure it's the Sid Barrett like Wikipedia thing about the they called it Mandy's or something like that. It was like a, forgot exactly what it was called though.
Oh, he died in 2006.
Yeah, he lived it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was like 90s.
People would go to his house a lot and try to get interviews, and he would cuss them out, slam the door.
Go away! I'm fucking crazy.
He lived with his parents, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he just kind of like turned into this hermit.
Yeah, like when you think about them, and they were so young when they blew up, and the pressures of fame, which I know nothing about, but the pressures of fame, I'm sure, is insane. And then you put on all kinds of put mixed LSD, you mix fucking barbiturates in your fucking perm shit. Like it's gonna do something to you, like it's gonna it's gonna warp you, and it's sad, but that's how it went. And if you think about it, it's like if Sid Barrett wouldn't have went off his rocker and went into his own little world, we wouldn't have gotten stuff like Dark Side of the Moon or The Wall and stuff. So and
you can hear Sid in that stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, totally. I dig what they did when Sid Barrett was in the band, but it was it's almost a little too Mary Poppins for me.
Super like the other side of the pond.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just that very poppy psychedelic sound of the times, but then what they were able to sort of shift into, and actually when you read the history of them, it took them a long time to figure that shit out, because they were just sort of throwing shit at the wall. I remember reading that they were going to, after
He just lost you.
Oh.
What happened?
No. Oh.
Sorry. It's my rig. It's fucking up. Wait.
How dare you?
Oh, there we go.
Spirit of Sid Barrett. He's fucking with us.
Yeah, the Sid Barrett's like, fuck you guys, don't talk about me.
He's like, I'm
Quit
shutting
talking
this
about
down.
me.
I'm shutting this
It's
down
kind of
right
a similar thing too with the early Soft Machine and a lot of those bands where they started out, super poppy, and then they kind of figured out like, oh, let's do something else.
Yeah,
I always like that.
Well, I do too. I always like bands that find a whole new outfit, a whole new direction. I mean, even like when you look at the shift that Radiohead took from whatever what was it, Kid A to, not Kid A, but before Kid A was can't remember. But that shift between the album before Kid A and then Kid A, the Bends. You look at that transformation, like they did that as a band, and they did that as like it was just like a completely, like it was just completely different from what they were doing. I mean, there was elements, but like it just went completely the other side. With Pink Floyd, they really had to struggle for a few albums. And I remember reading that they were planning after, because they did that stupid soundtrack that they hated, Adam Hart Mother, that to this day David Gilmour hates. Relics, and Penny. Yeah, they did some Relics, and but they did a couple of those soundtracks for crazy movies, and they were going to go in and do a record all made with household items. They were gonna like have a spray can, and they were gonna like hitting the bathroom tub. And like that was their big idea, and it's like I'm glad they went in another direction. I'm getting my timelines all fucked up, but that's sort of the idea.
Totally.
Props to the Who for hating each other and making money for centuries. Okay, decades. Yeah, his mom always protected him. Always. I've got a bike.
Yeah, his we're talking about Sid.
Sid,
right? He lived with his parents for the last however many years.
Yeah.
Parents took care of him, took care of his estate and stuff.
Yeah. How about you, Nathan? What kind of influence does Pink Floyd do you draw from? Were you big Pink Floyder?
Yeah, my mother had Metal and Dark Side of the Moon on vinyl.
Nice.
So I grew up listening to those. And then I'm right at that age where they put out Gentle Sound of Thunder and whatever that record is with Learning to Fly on it.
Division Bell or Momentary Lapse of Reason?
Momentary Lapse of Reason.
Yeah.
So that was like right when I was like, first paying attention.
Uh-huh.
They had that video on MTV and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, like very, very different band in the 80s.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, the shift from the Sid era to the 70s era is pretty major, and then the shift to the 80s is even different.
Right.
So I sort of grew up listening to each of those different eras and appreciating it. I don't know if I could point specifically to like how that influenced my music, but I definitely listened to that music a lot.
Yeah, I think that everything that we ingest somehow makes it into whatever we put out, right? In some form or another. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, probably, right? Probably Pink Floyd influenced it too. I mean, there's just I mean, you definitely, if you think about Pink Floyd and you think about like what you could derive from that, I think if you look at like this lo-fi movement, I think you could almost derive an influence of that from Pink Floyd with their like very calming, like Us and Them or something, it's a very chill ass, just chill thing. And, that vibe of just chilling, but rocking, I'm rocking out, but I'm chilling. I think it was just I think you could see a through line throughout music and history of music and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, sonically, definitely, there's a lot of things people derive from that.
Mm.
See that.
Sounds a bit like Fish. Too. I don't know. What sounds like Fish? I've got shift to the 80s was the breakup period. Thank David for keeping the spirit alive. Yeah. And then what was interesting, do you guys remember when they did the Live 8? Like, I think it was in 2012 or something, where they all got back together for like a few songs. And
yeah.
That was magic. And now Homeboy's dead, and that'll never happen again. So, anyways.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Nick. Well, Nick's touring on he's got that band where they play all the older material, right? It's called Nick Mason's Saucer Full of Secrets. Or something.
Oh yeah, he does have that.
So he's got a band, which is kind of rad.
Yeah.
I mean, judge what you want about people doing, like revisions of their past, but like, hell, it's Nick Mason. He can do what he wants.
I agree completely. And the man's got to eat. Not that he's probably poor at all. I can't imagine that
I'm pretty sure he's all right.
I can't imagine. I
think he's the only member that's been on every Pink Floyd record.
Wow.
Don't
quote. Hold on. Let's
quote me on that. But I seem to remember reading that where he's the only one that's made it through everything. Because Roger's not on everything.
No.
And Gilmore's not on everything.
I'm looking it up, and I'm a slow typer.
Looking it up.
Album. Yeah, it comes up. Let's see. Mason is the only Pink Floyd. Here, we can show everybody.
I was right. Got it. Yes.
Yeah, you own me. You owned me. Mason is the only Pink Floyd member to be featured on every one of their albums and the only constant member of the band since its formation in 1965. It is estimated that as of 2010, the group has sold over 250 million records worldwide, including 75 million units sold in the United States. Nick Mason is doing just fine, folks. I don't think Napster took him out. I don't think the streaming platforms took out Nick Mason at all. I think he's doing just fine.
Hey, Dose Penny said he spoke about instruments, vacuum, and such was the Fish comment. Yeah, that makes sense. I think, from my understanding, Floyd was coming out of like John Cage, especially like living room music and some of those, and then Eric Satie, who's a French composer. There was a lot of talk in the European avant-garde, especially, about everyday instruments being possibilities. I mean, John Cage had a whole orchestra just based on junk percussion, so using brake drums and coil springs and hubcaps and things like that. But then he took it even farther, where something like living room music was literally people just playing with their hands on chairs and things like that. So,
Yeah.
I seem to remember reading that. Don't quote me on it, but it seems like they were coming out of a lot of that, using everyday objects to create music.
Yeah.
It seemed like there was a lot of that in the general, maybe like sort of in the air, Amon Dole and a lot of the krautrock. Sorry, I said the word. The German avant-garde rock settings of the 70s. Nobody likes the term K. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Indeed. Moving on before I use the K word again.
Well, it's interesting because even that. Sorry, Pink Floyd derailed us. The track of yours just flashed, but you're fine, Petty. This is the fuck, Petty. Why are you apologizing? This is our conversation. We're all talking here. God damn it. Though it's interesting, because it seems like that is a big influence on what you do. When I see you making your cymbals and you have your drums full of fucking shit that you're just beating on, and I'm not trying to shit on what you do because I really respect what you do, but you know what I'm saying.
Did you perform with a chain one time?
Oh yeah,
it was tight. I remember the chain.
Well, I like. And at the most basic, I'm a percussionist. I'm a drummer. So like, I'm not coming from a guitarist perspective or playing trumpet or a vocalist perspective. So I'm used to, and percussionists are always just like, okay, we can whatever object we want to use.
Yeah.
Like you're playing in an orchestra. You're playing triangle. Triangle is literally just a piece of metal that somebody bent, and then they found like the perfect way to bend it so it sounds amazing, and then they spend another hundreds of years trying to find the perfect beater to make it ring forever so it can project over this orchestra. It's ridiculous when you think about it. So yeah, like, and then clearly the family business is sewer contracting. So I grew up around tractors and excavators and all that stuff, lathes and drill presses and welding and stuff like that. So I'm totally used to like, okay, this, I gotta fix this cymbal stand. Let me go just cut it and figure out how to fix it and stuff like that. So that's sort of a key thing. Like, what kind of sound do we need? Like there was a whole record. I've got this right here. This is it's just a ceramic thing, and I use it as a percussion instrument on a bunch of records. Right. I mean, there's just a million sounds you can use, and you clearly see my studio. I was just showing Jesse. There's that rat I put in the shelf over there. So there's a bunch of stuff. So yeah, I mean, this record especially, I was using a lot of Atari Punk console. I have some different electronics than I use for some of the other stuff, like the other production stuff I do.
But did you say Atari Punk? What?
Yeah, Atari. It's a. Here, let me reach for it.
How dare you? Are you? Is this some some Bender stuff? Some.
I use a ton of Bender stuff too. This is my buddy built this for me.
Oh, okay.
Atari Punk console. So it's just a box that and you have a couple different controls over the circuits. You see a lot of noise musicians using them, and this one it's got switches. And you see the light turn on.
Yeah.
And then you can also do on and off with the button.
Dope. And so that's is it like Pong? Yeah, they're asking, is it like Pong? It has those kind of noises, like 8-bit kind of noisy stuff?
It gets a little 8-bitty. Yeah, there's, it can definitely do like, it's very square wavy, I guess you could say. There's like, and then you can get it very short too, and it'll do rhythmic stuff like you hear the that track you played with Al Howard, that sound in the background.
Yeah.
That's a Atari Punk console. And then so a little bit more noisy than some of the other stuff, depending on the production. Like clearly, everybody loves Fender Rhodes. Everybody loves keyboards. Like that's all great. I've got a bunch of keyboards, but then trying to use some of those different sounds.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love that. That's like one of the things that I really respect about what you do is that you are that person who pushes boundaries and you're not afraid to go out there. I remember last time you were on the show, you're like, yeah, I released a whole album where I just recorded it on like a little like hand recorded tape recorder and yeah, I put it out. Yeah, in the mountains with my friends. We were just out there and it sounded great. And I'm like, that's amazing because it's like complete fearlessness, and that's what I respect in artists, is when they're completely fearless to do whatever they feel like, and I just feel like that artists are being neutered right now with just not being able to express themselves fully and honestly, and it fucking bothers me. It bothers me that artists can't express themselves how they truly want to express themselves and feel like they have to keep their mouths shut about certain topics or ideas. And that bothers me because as artists, like it is our job to reflect our fucking environment. It's our jobs to fucking, to draw from what we see around us. And I'm not saying every artist needs to be a fucking political martyr, but have some fucking backbone. Jesus Christ.
Word.
Have some fucking self-respect. Jesus. Let's see. Let's watch Nathan do the mad scientist here on his YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure this is the one where you're. It's when you. Yeah. See. So this is a good example of what he does. So you see what he's, and then he has some crazy noises in the back. This is like horror movie music. Do you got any more of the stuff where you got like, maybe? I think we got. Oh, there's the box.
Oh yeah. And then the keyboard on the top is a circuit band SK1.
That's a bent one?
Yeah. And then I'm running it through that the Electro-Harmonix Mellotron pedal.
Oh, snap. You like that pedal?
I do. Yeah. I've been having a lot of fun running the bent stuff through it. There's a ton of noise, but then the pedal adds like pitch content. So you got like some like kind of gritty sound, and then you also have like a cello sound that's playing the exact same thing.
Oh, tight.
So you can get like some really interesting like textural stuff.
That is dope, man. See, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's this you're fearless in what you say, and I extend that to you too, Tall Can, because when you listen to the lyrics of what you're saying, I hear
some of the ballsiest samples. Some of the shit he puts on his record, I'm like, I would never dare do that. I'm not gonna even say what the sample is because we'll all get in trouble. But there's some of them where I was like, bro, I wouldn't have dared do that. Hell yeah, I'm down.
It's like,
There's down. A lot of people. Id the Poet did that too. I sent him a text. He gave me one of his records. I was like, bro, I do not have the balls to sample that shit like you did. And it totally works. And it's really great. I was like, I never heard, I don't hear things like that. And I was really inspired by that. It was cool to hear.
Yeah, mad respect to folks who can flip a sample the correct way, man. Do you know who Michael Manring is? Are you familiar with Michael Manring?
Michael Manring, the bassist?
Yes. He was.
I know who he is. I don't know his music that well. He was on Windham Hill for a second, and then I have a couple friends that play with him.
He used to play with Michael. God, Manfred, is that his name? He was a guitarist. Anyways,
the harp guitarist, Michael Hedges.
Michael Hedges, thank you.
Yeah.
Nathan is like the fucking. You have.
I'm not.
You
Believe
are that.
Me. You're gonna say something, and I'm just gonna be like.
But you knew who Michael Manring was. No, Michael. But Michael is all about this sort of avant-garde thing. He was on the podcast, and he walked through his bass with me, and like I love. Again, I love musicians and artists who are out there pushing the boundaries. His hyper bass is nuts. Like it has like 4 different pickups all over the body. Like you can change the tuning of each string individually or all at once. You can do, he can hit it. He uses sound to hit it. There's different things to hit it. I mean, there's lots more other shit. I can't remember everything, but he walked through the whole thing with us, which is pretty amazing. But it was, I just think that this avant-garde, it gets very little respect. And to me, I think it's like people out there really just being the most raw about it. Of course, I love a poppy song, I love pop and I love all kinds of music, but I really respect people out there who are doing it and just making the music that they want to make and not just sort of falling into some bullshit ass box or trying to do something.
Yeah. But, there's also just the ease. It seems like everybody now has these Logic presets, and they sound freaking great.
Great.
I mean, there's a lot of I hear people making really, really spectacular music, and it's easy to do. I've always, being a drummer and then making beats is funny because I've always been like, I have drum machines and I have samples and stuff, but at the same time, it's kind of fight this thing in my head, I should be able to do this, or I'm gonna sample myself for these different issues. So I've always tried to integrate all these different things. That was one of the things I did during shutdown. Is I've got all these instruments. I've been sampling just all the stuff I own. So I have every hubcap I own is sampled.
You got
whatever.
You're like, I'm gonna make a
I got a really nice gong pack, Mike. I'll send it to you. You need some gongs? I got some gongs for you. It's going to change your life. Your next production's going to be all gongs. And
I don't
even know what this voice is I'm doing. I don't even know.
It's the gong man.
It's the gong man. He's selling me gongs.
I'll get you some rain stick samples, too. I know you need that.
I do need rain sticks. I would put a rain stick sample on my sample board. I mean, the best I got is... I got this. There you go.
Oh, you definitely need. Okay, I have the. I went in and bought the old and the vintage, the giant bamboo one. I'm gonna sample that. And every time you use it in the show, you're gonna have to pay me $3.
The rain tax, bitch.
I was gonna reach back and say you want me to grab it, but then that's $3.
then you'll own it. You know what though? I can afford it because
brought to you by Pfizer. Fuck you. Pay me.
There you go. Exactly. Thank you, Pfizer. I can afford it. Thank you so much to Admiral Atlas 1.
Oh shit, that's the homie.
Oh, Admiral Atlas 1, thank you so much for dropping in and becoming and following me, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much, and welcome into the show.
Yeah, check out his beats. That's the homie Vic. He gets down.
Oh, yeah. The homie beats. Vic gets down. What up, dudes?
Yeah.
Admiral Atlas. Let's look up Admiral Atlas then.
Oh, yeah.
Is that his name?
That's his producer name. Yeah, it's the homie.
Admiral Atlas music. Let's see. Oh, Admiral Atlas. Hold on, we're coming over. Excuse me. Admiral Atlas SoundCloud. Let's go. All right, Escape from the Sheep's Head Bay. Let's go. First listen. Let's go.
This dude got some sick, real dusty type shit.
Oh, it's dusty? I'm ready for dust. Let's go. Yeah, definitely shenanigans today. Oh shit. Watch out.
Trying to figure out if this is the homie or someone else.
Oh shit! Is this not him?
I can't even tell. I need my glasses on.
We're listening to a different Atlas.
Let me see the thing.
The second one.
Him. That's him.
Okay,
sure.
good.
I see the Misfit logo.
Oh yeah,
That's the thing.
That's grimy.
Style like that shit.
Puppet Princess, thank you so much for that subscription. Thank you so much. Welcome here back. Oh, watch out now.
Oh yeah.
Yo. Picture perfect. I paint a perfect picture. Fuck yeah. Damn, that's so dope.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's that dust I'm talking about.
That's that dust.
That's a San Diego thing.
Oh yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Arco started all
Chemtrail.
that shit.
I like that.
Attention, all
I
those
like
people.
that.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
welcome, Admiral Atlas. I appreciate you being in here, and thank you. Well, I guess you didn't give us permission to play your beats. We just did. But thank you for not being mad at me for doing that. Yo, motherfucker, get my permission next time you want to fucking put some respect on my beats.
Sign that clearance.
Oh man, I hope everything is well at your end. It's great, Puppet Princess. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for that sub. This is for you.
Hello, and welcome to We Speak English Good TV. I'm your announcer, Ron Swanson, and now I'm asking you to put your hands together in a clappy noise for your host, Mike E. P. Fanfare. Wonderful.
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Anyways, well, with what you're doing, so you're saying, Nathan, that you have more hip hop that it coming down the pipeline. Then is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, yeah. We got a so there's the 5 tracks that just came out, Song of Forward, and then there's, I would say the next one's maybe a third done. I got a pretty nice talk can verse that nobody's heard.
Hey,
I ain't even heard it.
I got a track like I said, I got a track with Adrian from Taco Shop Poets. I got a few other things, and then I got a few people that are supposed to send me stuff, and then I, sending out beats to other people. It's interesting because you write a bunch of stuff, and there's always most of it fits together. I think this is true of whether you're like writing songs, you're writing beats, you're writing whatever it is, and then there's always like 2 or 3 you're just like, I don't know what that is. I don't think that fits at all. Yeah. But it's good, right? It's good.
Yes.
So you're just like, okay, shit. And you put, I have a little folder that goes, I literally have a folder that says, I don't know what to do with this. And it's all those songs. So I'm like, okay. They're all good. None of them make any sense with anything else. So I don't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
But so I've got a bunch of those too. And, it's funny. I was doing, I don't do a ton of vinyl rips, but I have fun doing that. And I was, my kids I have a bunch of old Disney records. The kids had the Disney records out. And so I started going through those, and I did a couple rips, and I made some beats with some of those, which was super fun. And I was, it was just like an afternoon. Hey, you're just making beats.
Just hanging out, making beats, nothing.
I might have had a drink or something. Anyways, but then I came back to it a couple months later. I'm like, oh, these are cool. And I threw them in the beats folder, and some, Carlo was like, I really like this one. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't think that, like trying to figure out how all this stuff fits and what projects they go into is like an interesting challenge.
It is. How did you put together the Song of Forward? Songs of Forward or Song of Forward? Song of Forward.
Yeah.
But is it that same kind of thing, or was it like, well, these are done, so I'm gonna put these together, or was it like, oh, I guess these kind of fit together? Was it that kind?
Yeah, they all fit together. I Speak was the first one that got done. Talkan put it on, and I sent it to Kay and asked him. I was like, I think this works from what I've heard you do, and it's like that hook is very like specific about what it's about and stuff. So it requires somebody to write very specifically to that. And I felt like what I've heard Kay spit like made sense with that. And then I had and then March Into the Sun, I had the Al Howard thing, and I had that up, and Id wanted in on that, so we did that. I had like 2/3 of it done, and then I had a couple things. I had Talkan and Kelsey Ray's verse on the last track, We Carry On, I felt like maybe that was a track that could use 3 verses. So I did like a month out. I had a folder, like a Dropbox folder that I sent to a few people and said, hey, I'm almost done with this, and here's the tracks that aren't done, and if anything makes sense, you want to jump on anything, let me know. So I sent, I think, Solution Shut Down and We Carry On to a few people. Indian K got back to me right away and said, I want on We Carry On. And I sent the same thing to Frankie Fadeless, and he said, I want on Solution Shut Down. So that kind of, it all worked out really nicely, actually.
Yeah. The word, the folder of misfit toys, that's my, I have a folder like that too. It's like, it's very strange because like,
oh yeah,
for whatever reason, some weird thing shits out of you and you're just like, what? Okay, I guess that's what I'm doing this. When you're doing something like that, or I guess in any way, how do you pursue what to follow? You know, because like for me, when I come to a beat, like, you know, I'll make a beat and then, you know, I'll be messing around with the bass line, and then like I just it's sort of like you gotta like, sometimes it guides you, but sometimes it's forced. It's like, how do you choose what to pursue, especially if you're seeing something go in a direction that you're not, you know, familiar with, or you're not, that you're like, I've never done anything like that. Do you fight against that, or do you just go with it? How do you pursue what avenues to follow in creating a song?
It's
a weird
I don't
question.
really have any set in stone. I don't have any set in stone thing, but like I just kind of follow my nose and figure out, and it doesn't always work.
Right.
Certain things, I mean, like I Speak had completely different beat and a completely different bass line when it started out. And I stripped it down. Like even before the one I sent you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like work through this stuff. I found that like Parker said this to me too. He's like, you always overdo it. And I'm aware of that. I mean, I'm the guy that put out the 50 person large ensemble record, right? You know, I'm kind of known for overdoing it. So, but being aware of that, like sometimes overdoing it's what that project is.
This is amazing,
and
yeah.
Then other times you're like, yeah, okay, it doesn't need 4 road tracks and a choir, and, you know.
No,
like the stripping it down. A lot of these beats, you know, I would have as a drum, coming from a drum perspective, like most of my programming, like there's a lot of hi-hat. And I've been trying to get away from that and do less hi-hat or no hi-hat. That's a real challenge for me because, you know, I'm coming from playing beats and like transitioning that, you know. And there's a lot of people that do that really well. Like Milky Wayne does these incredible beats that there's almost no drums on them, or very, very sparse drums. And I love that stuff. And that's like not a strength for me at all. But I've been trying to like work on things like that and realize like I just have a different conception on how that is.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answered the question.
No, it does because
like, yeah.
Well, no, because you can. I tend to do that too. Like my wife is constantly like, "Take all those fucking sounds out. Like, why does everything have a delay on? What is going on here?" It's like, and you know, we you know, we submit songs for sync, so like, I'll give her this like crazy. She's like, okay, just cut all that shit out, and then maybe we have a song, you know. But like, but I get that, and I think it does answer because basically you're not afraid to pursue these different avenues. You're not afraid to do something huge, but then you're also not afraid to strip it back and to kind of get out of your own way in a sense, because sometimes we can find ourselves in our own ways, especially in producing, but in a lot of, I guess, especially in life in general, but especially here in producing, is like we could tend to get in our own way of, in like, I overthink something, or like, you know, whatever the situation is. And so I think you did a great job in sort of answering that, because it just shows like you're not afraid to pursue wherever the juice is sort of dragging you, you know, like you're going to chase it down and then sort of go back through and then, you know, process after that, whether it means strip down or add more or whatever it is. So yeah, I think that was a great question. Oh, we have a Baby Yoda interview. Okay, we can do that. Oh, we have another question from the chat, which fucking I totally forgot. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Reina. Do you feel the SDMAs do a fair job of representation regarding hip hop music? So this is very much a San Diego question.
This is very San Diego.
And SDMAs is the San Diego Music Awards, which is very much it's a fun thing in San Diego. I know there's some people who have some things on it. You know, some people have some questions about it, but I'm just interested in how you please answer the question and how it's written. Do you feel the SDMAs do a fair job in representation regarding hip hop music? Of representation regarding
hip hop music. So San Diego hip hop music. Well, I mean, this is said that I've won San Diego Music Awards. So no, I don't think they do. Oh. And I don't, in a larger sense, I don't think that, I mean, it's an organization, and it's a bunch of people that run clubs and book shows, promoters, concert promoters.
Money.
Yeah, it's definitely money,
Yeah.
right? And it's people that write for local things and stuff. And, but I think as much as we can say, like, you know, yes, Rick Scales should have won the music award by now, right? Obviously. You know, Orko Elohim should be on the, the Hall of Fame or whatever the thing is. Mm-hmm. At the same time, like, we also need to be proactive about letting those people know who we are. Mm-hmm. and getting our name out there, because, like, you know, these are not people, like, these are people that are booking people that come to them, right? If you've never played Winston's and you've never been to Winston's, why would you imagine that anybody, the guy that books Winston's, and I don't even know who it is, would know who you are and would present your music, right? Like, we have to be proactive in getting our music out there, whether it's radio, you know, Beto's doing a great job right now. Like, there's a lot of, like, local support for hip hop and on radio, which is, San Diego's never been a radio town, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The print thing is super sketchy right now. City Beat's gone.
Oh wow.
The reader, you know, depending on who's writing, has been helpful, and sometimes maybe not, depending on who you are. And then beyond that, there's a ton of people doing podcasts, which is great. Yeah. And those people, like, I would love to see those people on the board, San Diego Music Awards, on the board of these different things. I would love, you know, there's all these different things. I would love to see more critics and things like that. So I think overall, in a lot of different ways, we can all support each other and build each other up and keep this moving. You know, there's different levels too. You've got somebody who's, you know, there's famous rappers making a lot of money and still doing stuff locally, and you've got, you know, people playing I'm trying to blank on a club, you know, playing
Soda Bar
Pink.
Bar Pink.
Playing, yeah, exactly. Playing clubs like that and stuff, and there's all these different levels, and there's people just doing house shows and stuff, and all of those people are important, and critics are important. People writing about this stuff is important. Yeah. You know, somebody like Nate Witzel is super, super important to this scene, you know. Somebody that wants to support somebody like Chris Reyes doing those things is super, super important. Not only as an artist, but also as somebody who's promoting other people and, you know, talking critically about things and sort of doing all that promotion. So just in general, I mean, that's my thought. I would love to see just more of everything. You know, I'm out here, I want to see everybody win.
Yeah. What about you, Ken? What's your take on that question?
I've been nominated once, lost. I'm not really big on awards and stuff like that. So the way I see it is kind of like an award show is probably set up. They already know who's going to win before they even do the votes and shit like that. That's just the way I see through systems and shit like that. I'm not really for stuff like that. But I mean, like, looking at it, I don't think it represents the hip hop scene, because the hip hop scene in San Diego is just too big to be represented in a little small thing such as this, you know. But it's like Nathan said, if there was more critics and more people like Nate Witzel, like, who are out there supporting people and getting people like you know what I mean, like giving people actual support and not just like some manufactured support. You know what I mean? It's like some actual real support, and I feel like it doesn't represent the hip hop community, but I also feel like awards don't really represent hip hop anyways. You know what I mean? It's not about awards or nothing like that. It's about self-expression and getting out what's inside your heart and inside your chest outside. That's the way I see awards and stuff like that. But it was a cool experience going to it. You know what I'm saying? I went outside to smoke a blunt, and I guess I missed the whole entire like when they called everyone's name and shit. So I came back in, and they're like, you know you missed it, right? You lost, but you missed it. I said, oh well, my bad.
That's funny. That's why I went to a wedding. I went to a wedding once, and fucking the same thing happened. I played the wedding, and I was actually a part of the wedding. But I just missed the food. I went out to smoke a blunt with somebody, and like I came back, and they were taking my food.
Damn.
I was like, damn, where's my sea bass at, bitch? Like, I need my sea bass.
That's messed up.
Oh man, everybody go give Admiral Atlas a follow. I put his Instagram link in the chat, so go ahead and give him a follow and give him some love. And now we're gonna go ahead and summon our good friend and fellow co-host once in a while, Baby Yoda. Okay, here we go. Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda, can you hear me?
Okay, that's just annoying, okay?
Oh, jeez, there he is, everybody. Baby Yoda's here. Okay, golly. All right, well, I didn't mean to be annoying, Baby Yoda. How are you doing today, Baby Yoda?
Pretty good.
Yeah? What'd you do today?
Well, I went out to look at one of my family members' house. They're getting a new house.
Oh, you're gonna get a space house?
No, one of my family members.
Oh, they're gonna get a house on Earth?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
They're gonna get a house on Earth.
Okay, awesome. Do you have a question for our guests today, Tall Can and Nathan Hubbard?
Yeah.
Okay, shoot.
What is your favorite animal?
Ooh, this is a good one. What is, both of you, what is your guys' favorite animals?
Gotta say cats. If I didn't say cats, my cats would be mad at me. So I gotta say cats.
Tall Can.
Yeah, you know who's gonna get mad at you now?
Yeah, my dog.
Chico's mad. Chico's mad.
It's like, this motherfucker. He's like, when's the last time a cat protected the house while you were gone, motherfucker?
Exactly. Yeah, that dog doesn't
What
mess
are
around.
you even talking about?
Oh, well, Tall Can decided, we're talking about dogs and cats, because Tall Can decided that cats are his favorite animal, and but that's gonna make his dog Chico jealous. So
shout out to Chico.
Shout out to Chico. Let's go. Sorry.
Okay, I think my favorite is. I'm gonna say a rhino.
Oh,
yeah.
Nathan says rhino, which that's
Rhinos are pretty badass.
Those are pretty badass animals, I gotta say. Baby Yoda, what's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal is actually a cheetah.
Oh, a cheetah.
Oh,
Yeah.
a cheetah.
Cheetah's pretty legit. Have you ever seen a cheetah in real life?
Yes, actually.
Where did you see a cheetah?
Well, one time when I was down at Earth, I went to the zoo, and I saw a cheetah.
Oh! I think I remembered that. You went to the San Diego Adventure Park, right? Or the Safari Park.
Yeah.
And you got to see the cheetah run.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay, and Nathan and Tall Can, do you have a question for our dear Baby Yoda?
What is outer space like?
Oh,
really
Tall Can wants to know what outer space is like.
It's very dry. It's very cold.
All right.
Okay.
And also the Neptune. It's actually pretty cold on there too.
Oh, it's cold on Neptune. Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Didn't know that.
And also, I actually have went to Saturn.
Whoa.
Oh.
My favorite thing about that was was bringing home one of the meteors.
Oh, well,
Wow.
I like it. I like it. How about you, Nathan? Do you have a question for our dear Baby Yoda?
Baby Yoda, is that a onesie?
Baby Yoda, do you have a onesie on right now?
Well,
Is that like
my...
a coat?
It's more like a... I think it's more like a robe. Yeah, it's more of a robe.
Yeah, it's a robe.
More of a robe. There you go. So there it is. Well, Baby Yoda, thank you so much.
I actually do have one more question.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Baby Yoda has another question. Shit. Go ahead, Baby Yoda. What's your question?
Well, if you had a planet like mine, what would it be like?
If you had a planet like yours, what would it be like? It would be like your planet.
Well, if they had a planet like mine.
How about this? If you guys had a planet, your very own planet, what would it be like? How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No humans allowed.
Very
green.
Green, no humans allowed. That's what Tall Can said.
Yeah.
I'd say that. I think I'd go for half desert. I like the desert.
Oh,
but,
desert's cool.
You know, I grew up in Encinitas, so I need a little
if I had my own
cool
planet,
mist in the morning.
it would be brown and dead. Very, very
All right.
dead.
Brown and dead. So a desert. So I feel like you and Nathan would probably get along on his little desert planet.
Half desert.
Well,
Half desert planet. My bad. We gotta have an ocean and mountains, son.
No, there ain't no ocean.
One tree.
There ain't
One
no
tree. There's one tree to rule them all.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda, thank you so much for coming on the show. You have a great rest of your day, buddy.
Bye.
Yeah. Everybody give him a round of applause. Thank you. All right. Baby Yoda, everybody. Baby Yoda. There he is. There he is. You know, the Tall Can, I couldn't help but pick up the vibe that you're kind of have a. Do you have a problem with authority? Like, do you
Is this a trick question?
No, not at all. I'm just curious, just by what.
Pretty much, yeah.
How do you? Oh, thank you for that collab, Moving Dutchman. How are you seeing the authority these days, as in like what we're being told and what we're told to believe and stuff? How are you accepting that as someone is that's
Well, I'm not accepting it. Just kind of seeing how shit plays out, and it's kind of playing out how it's always played out in this country, at least. It's just, you know, settler colonial state that's bred out of fascism, pretty much. That's the way I see it. And everything that's being told to us, you know, is being told to us for a reason if it's on a mainstream media outlet. And you know, it is what it is. I heard you going off earlier about Kyle Rittenhouse and shit, and like it's nothing new under the sun, you know what I mean? Like, you look at what happened to the Central Park 5. They were younger than Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
They cried on the stand. Nothing happened, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't get the treatment he's getting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just shows like nothing changes, you know what I mean? And people need to just think for themselves, you know what I mean?
I feel
That's
you.
what it comes
I
down
feel
to.
you. I feel you, man. And it was interesting how he was crying, and everybody was like, "Fuck you, Kyle Rittenhouse, for crying." But I mean, you know, I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole of the case itself. But you know, there was. I don't know. Did you follow the case at all? I don't want to really, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, the way I see related to the case is that it's just, you know, the authoritarian state is always going to pat the white supremacists on the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody else gets the fucking shaft. You know what I mean? So they're going to protect that kid with all the energy they have. You know what I mean? And if the situation was reversed, you know what I mean, and it was a bunch of people wearing black clothing chasing him, and you know what I mean, or if it was reversed, you know what I mean, and I mean, it would be way different, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean,
it just shows that there's it's just a hypocrisy going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely think that there needs to be something to change. The whole system, sort of like the judicial system, needs some sort of overhaul. I'm thinking, you know, and the cops and such. You know, it's like I'm thinking that some things need to change in that aspect. The thing about Kyle Rittenhouse was, and is that when you do look at the footage, I mean, and when you find out who he murdered, I mean, the guy, one of the people he murdered was a convicted pedophile who was just let out of the jail that morning. Not that he deserved to die, of course, but he was a convicted pedophile who was threatening his life that whole evening. Another guy hit him in the back of the head with a skateboard, which I think, the thing was about that whole situation, it was chaos all around.
Mm-hmm. For sure,
And
yeah.
no one knew what was going on. People were thought the kid was shooting up people because they heard gunshots and then they see some fucking kid running down with that. So I just think that the whole thing was just, it's just a shit show right now. I don't think that there's any way that we can really get past this shit without some sort of major event happening where we have to come to terms with our collective decisions over the past however many years. Well,
for sure, yeah. I mean, when you see the video of Rittenhouse and his homies walking around that night, what I mean, they're getting the treatment that he's getting right now from the police. They were giving him thumbs up.
Yeah, they're giving him water.
Giving him water, yeah, basically letting him do whatever they wanted, And the way I see it is just if he was out there with those people, he made his decision of what he was doing that night, you know what I mean? And the way I see it is he knows exactly what he was doing, and the tears that he admitted, or the tears that he was all part of his little court charade and shit, it's all bullshit, you know what I mean? Because there's pictures of him in bars celebrating what he did.
Yeah, he's throwing up the white supremacist signs.
Oh, yeah.
There's a video that came up where he's punching the shit out of some little girl.
Damn, I ain't seen that.
Oh, yeah. No, he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit, but
fucked,
I don't know, I'm not, it does seem like he was protecting himself, and again, this is under the insane chaos of riots and protests and burnings and all this shit. But if it was me in that situation, I would have felt threatened as well. But I wouldn't have been in that situation. Who the fuck sends a 17-year-old? Yeah, and so I agree with you in that aspect. Was why was this fat little shit fucking running around with an automatic rifle in the fucking in the middle of violence?
Because there was a lot to do that, you know what I mean? He gets the pass, you know what I mean?
My city,
and that's the thing. The way I see it is if Kyle wasn't white and he did what he did, they would have already done him in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I
got the protection that every white person in this country is awarded. Unfortunately, it's you get the pass, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there is the pass. How about you, Nathan? Where do you sit? Nathan's over here. Can I just organize my records now?
No, come on. Sorry, I'm reading the chat.
No, brother, I'm just fucking with you. I love you.
Sorry, I'm reading these.
It's all good.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, in the larger sense, I'm for the people, and I want justice, and I don't think there's anything wrong with protesting. And I don't think there's any reason why people should not be able to protest. I think that's one of the formative aspects of this country.
Yeah.
So the whole situation sucks, and of course he got off. You saw the judge. I mean, I grew up in the Rodney King era. I've just kind of come to expect these things, which is super just terrible way to think about the country. I think it's an interesting thing. For a long time I've thought okay, this is there are ways that we can fix things, that we can make things better and stuff, and the older I get, the more just kind of bitter, and I'm just maybe not. I mean, we all knew what was coming. We all knew exactly what that verdict was going to be. There was nothing at all.
Yeah.
And my child just walks on
the door.
Hey,
child.
Look at that.
Children.
Hey, we're on a thing here.
It's all right.
Okay.
Born in 82. Yeah. Can't give subs either at Twitch. I see. Moving Dutchman, you're having problems. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. No, what's interesting is that he was being called a racist, which I mean I'm pretty sure he probably has racist when you're running around. But he was being called a racist but he shot 3 white people, And so like that's what throws me off. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how that had to do with anything racist when you shot when it was all white people involved. So that was the part that was confusing me. And I get that it was a protest in regards to a police shooting of somebody, of a black gentleman. I think Jacob, sorry, I can't remember his name. But
it's messed up. You can't remember his name.
Well, I mean, his name is not all over the fucking news like Kyle Rittenhouse's, is
sure,
it?
yeah. And
That's
you
don't remember that guy's name, but you remember who Kyle Rittenhouse is, huh?
That's my problem with authority
I think it seems like, especially, in the whole shutdown, this is true. I've been driving a little bit more on the freeway, and I've been noticing this. This country has a us against them thing.
Yes.
And clearly, I think that comes across in our sports and stuff. And I'm not saying other countries don't. Like, clearly, England took over the world, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Romans, whatever. We can go back in history and talk about humans being terrible to humans.
Yes.
There's a lot of that. But this country especially, there's a lot of just us versus them, me versus everyone.
Yes.
The Punisher, whatever it is. Like, I'm going to get mine, and I don't,
Yeah.
I don't even care what's going to happen. Like, it's me, and I'm going to get ahead regardless of all of you. So, and I don't see that changing. Like, I don't see I don't think there's going to be some cultural shift to like make us all like realize we're on the same planet with other people, and we don't need to like, try and kill each other on the freeway just because, I'm whoever's driving too slow or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of anger and a lot of issues like that. And I don't know how to deal with that, but it's something I've noticed, and seems to be like a reoccurring issue.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like it's been this bad. I mean, as someone who came, I'm an 80s baby.
Well, I mean, entire industries shut down, people sitting at their houses, literally unable to work, unable to get ahead.
Yeah.
I have a friend, I'm not quite far down that path, but he's just like, another day in the ruins of this empire. Like, that's his entire take on existence. Like, I'm not quite there, but like I get what he's saying.
I'm kind of there. I do think that our time in the sun is fading because I just saw this interesting fact that China has become the richest country in the world now, and followed by us. We haven't been number one at a lot of things for many years. I mean, certainly not education. We certainly are number one at obesity, and consuming and pollution. It does seem that what made this country great, and I'm not trying to say MAGA, folks, was that we were self-sufficient in a way where we were able to sort of provide for ourselves, and we were this monolith. And it seems like the powers that be have sort of shifted and sent our manufacturing, has sent our ability to be self-sufficient out overseas because our government has been, our government is basically a corporation, right? I mean, can we agree with that? It's America Inc. here. There's real no separation anymore between state, corporation, and legacy media. And we can just throw them involved there too, because who else is going to be, perpetrating and proposing these insane ideas that are being brought to us right now. But I do think that we've been sort of sold out by greed, and as a people, we've sort of just sat here and let it happen. You know what I mean? Especially for a country that is supposed to be a democracy, which we all know is kind of bullshit, right? A democracy for some, right? But not for all. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, where are you guys sitting when you see this country that obviously, I think one thing that a lot of people can agree on is that this country is in dire straits, and we have children. You have a child, and I'm sure you want your child, Nathan. I don't know about you, Talkin. You got a kid?
I got one on the way. Yeah.
There you go. So you're concerned about their future, I'm sure, especially in this country. I mean, how does that set with you guys? This idea that we're sort of on our way down, especially with children.
It's a fucked up thing. Yeah. How do you deal with that? I mean, let alone dealing with like climate change and like, you know, like are my kids even going to be able to, you know, like we're all going to move north to get away from whatever, you know, there's all sorts of things you think about. I think in general, I mean, what got us here, and it's the same thing we're all going to be at, is like just, oh shit, sorry.
Oh, how dare you.
See, it's Friday at 1:50, which means normally I'll be running off to grab a kid. You know, we're all in that situation. We're just running around trying to pay our bills. Like,
right.
Like, you know, do any of us have like you know, can we all spend all that time like dealing with these larger issues? Like, no, like I gotta pay my rent or whatever, you know, whatever the bill is. So those are like challenging times, and I think that's what got us here. And that's, unless there's some dramatic shift, which I don't really see happening, I think we're all going to be there too.
Yeah.
Like, and then you know, and you just start to think, okay, what is important? My kids growing up like in a space where they feel safe and they know how to like deal with what life's going to bring them. That's sort of my take on it right now. Trying to, you know, have a good relationship with my wife and get through these. It's not the solution we all need, but you know, there's only so much each of us can do. I guess that's a little, it's pretty defeatist, but I think that's kind of where I'm at. Just trying to like make that happen, get those things happen.
Yeah, I don't think that's defeatist. Before we get to talk, I don't think that's defeatist. I think that's you're protecting your mentality, your mindset. You're protecting yourself from, you know, being vulnerable to the. I mean, we're all vulnerable, but you're protecting yourself and your family's mindset by not being so, you know, because you could easily look at any news paper anywhere and just be filled with despair, but like, do we have time for that? Like you said, we have bills, we have children who are hungry, we have schedules and shit, but it's like I don't know, man.
Well,
it's like,
and those smaller things, you know, I'm clearly talking as way more of an activist than I am, but I have a lot of friends here in San Diego who are involved in politics, but on a small scale, making small changes that are totally for the better. You know?
Yeah.
Do we need, like, you know, there's been a bunch of shit with the school board. There's all sorts of issues that have been coming up, and people are like around and aware of it and dealing with it. And I think, like we were saying about the scene, you know, there's rappers that are way up there making a ton of money. They're playing giant spaces. They're doing really good things, and that's great too. And then there's kids, you know, doing bedroom shows and playing, you know, in the sewers. The sewers have been huge lately. You're totally missing the sewer shows.
Yep.
The sewer shows?
Yeah, people have been doing punk rock shows in the sewers.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Tight.
Multiple bands in the sewers.
What?
Yeah, crazy. But like that shit needs to happen too. You know, like maybe we can all like, you know, fix our larger problems and get rid of, you know, whatever your issue is. Everybody's got different issues. Whatever that is, fix that, you know. But like, hey, we can make sure that like there's enough money to get kids, you know, hot lunches, you know, in the school district or whatever, you know, these things. So that's kind of where I am. And I think musically that's me too. Like I'm not trying to get out there and you know, tour Asia this year or anything like that. But I have plenty of work in this area and plenty of work to do.
Yeah. No, I think that's a beautiful answer, and like that's something that I've heard a lot from people where it's like, in a roundabout way, is this idea of like, well, obviously there's no like reaching out to Joe Biden and fucking be like, listen, poopy pants, fucking let's get this shit together, okay? Let's make this happen, you know? Like, what the fuck's going on? But you can definitely vote in your local elections. You can definitely be a part of the conversation down at City Hall, and you can definitely pick up trash in your fucking neighborhood. You could volunteer at the fucking homeless shelter. All kinds of things you could do, because if we're all it's that whole thing is everybody picked up a piece of trash, and then, you know, we'd be fucking, you know, the whole world would be clean or whatever. Probably true. I deliver a pizza to a sewer show probably turtles. Thank you, Pizza Jams. I'm always glad. Pizza Jams,
Oh, yeah.
you know, let's give a round of applause for Pizza Jams just for his
Thank you for your
his service of delivering pizzas even to the sewer shows. Let's give Pizza Jam a shout out too, because Pizza Jam is a motherfucking is a gamer here on Twitch. He's a rapper himself, so let's give some love to Pizza Jams.
We gotta get you out here for a sewer show, bro.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm for it. I am for a sewer show. That sounds amazing. See, that's the thing, man. Ever since I found Twitch, and like I've not really cared about gigging anymore, and not that Twitch paid, you know, is you know, I don't make anywhere near as much money on Twitch as I did live gigging, but I'm finding different avenues of expression and live gigging is, you know, I love it, but it's not my main concern right now. But you know, the work is nice and whatever. Christmas sucks, but I'll learn fucking Christmas songs. Talking, how are you doing? How are you doing then with the idea of a child on the way and in your mindset and how you see the world and you know, it seems like none of us have a very good positive outlook of how this whole situation is going to play out. So how are you internalizing that? How are you, you know, coming to terms with that, especially with a child?
Yeah, family is everything, you know what I mean? And the way I see it is that children need to be taught the truth about where this country comes from, the history of it, you know what I mean? Not some watered down school idea of, you know what I mean, the Pilgrims and this, that, and the other, you know what I mean? And just the truth needs to be taught, you know, to everybody, but family is what's important, you know what I mean? And I think Nathan nailed it on the head. You know, you just want to have a place where you can make sure that you and your loved ones are safe and just to, you know what I mean, keep on loving and pushing and supporting each other and keep on growing, you know what I mean? Because that's what it's all about. But I think the biggest part is that, you know, people need to be taught the truth, you know, because the schooling system, they fail at that shit sometimes, you know what I mean?
They certainly do. They certainly fucking... Our school system is failing on so many levels, just so many fucking levels. Age punk and lover of illegal raids. A little E and we change the world. I'd be the grandpa at those shows now. You know what, Penny?
That's what's great about sewer shows. The cops are not going to go in the sewer.
Yeah, they're good.
That, you guys, yeah,
you deal with it.
I'm not going in there.
Well, you know, there's this. You know, I agree with you so much talking about how we're educating children and how things are going with, you know, like, you know, educating the future. And when you look at how, look at the disparities of education from neighborhood to neighborhood, and when you look at how much we're trying to, you know, around every corner we're gutting. I mean, when you think about it, especially when it comes to art, what's the first thing that gets cut from the school district when they have to make the cuts? It's not football. It's not fucking baseball. It's music. It's art. It's all that shit. So it's like they're really like, I feel like our education system is such an archaic fucking system. Like we're just training people to be factory workers for jobs that don't exist anymore. Like our factories don't really exist anymore. Like, you know,
and that's why things are so bad in certain neighborhoods, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
The factories went away and people's dads didn't have jobs no more, which means they couldn't get a job when they became 15.
Exactly.
You know, Firestone had a factory in LA, and that was everyone's dad worked there back in the way back. I was born in 1990, but everyone's dad worked there back in the 50s and in the 40s and shit. And when they shut that down, that was, you know what I mean? People
devastated the neighborhood.
No more devastated neighborhood. Yep. Everyone's in the lows now. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean that's how they get. That's how shit changes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what was so interesting to me, which we were cornered, so I understand that people felt like they didn't really have a choice. Which, you know, but like the idea that Joe Biden was gonna come in and save it, like he's the fucking guy who did this. Like he's the one who was
the one who wrote all the crime bills.
The '94 crime bill, the fucking you know NAFTA. Like he's the one who shifted all this shit over. So like I don't know, like I don't know whose fucking idea was to put that fucking old doddering shit fucking pants up in front of people, but like God, but you know, I voted for him. I voted for him because I wasn't gonna do the other one. So fuck it.
We all voted for him.
I know.
I mean, that's the thing. I think the same person that put him up to is probably the same person that put Trump up to.
Exactly.
They know what they're doing.
But that's the thing, right? Like that's what's so interesting is that with this pandemic, so much of that is being revealed, and it's really interesting to see how much this legacy media is trying to hide that fact, and how much they're like it's very obvious right now that they're trying to hide information from us, that they are keeping, like it's so obvious, and like this whole pandemic just sort of broke open those cracks. They're just wide open now, and it's just these gaping holes where we can see right down inside. Like Nancy Pelosi is fucking making she hits every time on the stock market. She's that good at money that she's always hitting. I mean, she's so good at the stock market that people have started to trace her every movement on the stock market, and goddamn, people are just making money off of studying what politicians and what they're investing in, because it's so fucking corrupt. And it's so fucking paid for that these motherfuckers are just getting rich in there because they're the insider trading. And you know how much it is if they get caught? It's like $200. It's like $200 or $2,000 fine if they get caught to insider trading in a position of power. So it's just like, who?
And what's her name went to jail for it?
Yeah, fucking Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart went to jail for it.
Martha Stewart fucking went to prison. Now she has a show with Snoop Dogg.
Hell yeah.
Is Nancy Pelosi going to get a show with Snoop Dogg?
Oh, man.
Oh, God, that would be so awful.
Let's not do that.
No, let's not.
That sounds terrible.
Martha and Snoop, that just makes sense. But Nancy and Snoop, no. And by the way, everybody, his name was Jacob Blake, who got murdered in Kenosha last year. His name was Jacob Blake. But I mean, like, I don't know, man. It's just like, it's very obvious right now that there's nothing that we can really trust coming out of anybody's mouth on anywhere. Like even me, you know, like even the shit that I say on here is like, I couldn't expect anybody. By the way, Cartagena, thank you so much for that host. I'm sorry I missed that, buddy. I hope you're doing okay. Welcome. But the, you know, like it's just, fuck, man. Some of the shit that I say is wrong because I'm going off of some sources that are wrong. And it's just like, holy shit. Where do we even fucking, like, what? I mean, where do you guys go to get information? Like, where do we go to get information? Like, I have some sources, but they have their own agendas too. So, like, where are you guys going to try to get accurate information? Or have you guys just sort of, like, dipped? It's like, I'm out.
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, you know, you get into these, sort of cross-referencing things from different things. Clearly, you know, like who's on the left, who's on the right, and making a slant towards that, and sort of judge it on that. But yeah, it just kind of depends on the information and like what you're looking for.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. It's a very broad
question. I still
question.
go on MySpace.
I get all my news from MySpace, bitch. Super accurate.
Friendster's still working for me. So
get all my news from Friendster.
You guys can go do Parler or whatever the next thing is.
Fucking Parler. Oh my God. It's crazy though. I mean, even when you think of like a platform like Parler, like they shut that shit down. And I actually talked to the girl who was the woman. She identifies as a woman. She is a woman. I talked to her, and she was on the team that she's a woman. Okay. Okay. She works for Amazon, and it was their servers, and they were like, yeah, we gave them all these warnings, and they just refused, and then so we had to shut them down. And I was like, well, you know, it's so funny that you guys shut down Parler, but it turns out that most of January 6th was planned on Facebook. I was like,
yeah, all of it.
I was like, did you guys consider that? And she was just like, no, we saw a problem and we handled it. And that was it. And I was like, oh.
Well, because Facebook's big enough, they don't have to deal with that.
Right. And
or they can circumvent it. Actually, you know, this is funny. I totally didn't mean to say Parler. What was the the website that tried to be the new Facebook, and Facebook like basically like you couldn't even post it on Facebook. They blocked it. What was that site
Was it
called?
Gab?
Not Parler. No, it was called.
It would start with a V. Did it start with a V or something?
Something like that. Anyways, that's what I was talking about. Like where like the streams of information are really interesting to see. Like, you know, like you were saying before about, you know, YouTube sending you a thing about blah blah. I got a thing from Instagram because I wrote the term white trash on a comment.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And I was talking about I don't even need to name the venue, an old bar that everybody used to play in San Marcos, and it wasn't the one with the turtle in it. But anyways, I just thought it was funny. I got this notification. I'm like, okay, yeah, you can't, yeah. So, anyways, yeah. I'm gonna look that up. I can't remember the name. Yeah, Parler's the what keeps happening with the light?
It's Zoom, and you have a light source behind you, so it's probably fucking with it.
Yeah, totally. We have a light in front of us too, but it's not helping.
Yeah, that's all right.
We're gonna take that down. Jesse looked like he was coming from the beyond before.
Yeah, it was
we put that sheet up over there.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Damn, you rapping with Jesus?
Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh, if I sit right here, I get the glow.
Have you guys been? I don't know. Have you heard about the World Economic Forum? Have you heard that they have a new? Because so like in 2019, in October 2019, the World Economic Forum, they put on this big. They did a replica of what would happen if a worldwide pandemic, a coronavirus, came into play, and Bill Gates was there. Ooh, Bill Gates. It was a big thing in the World Economic Forum. They did this. It was like a sort of like at the day of 9/11, there was some war games going on, and then. Yeah. And then right before coronavirus, there was the World Economic Forum. And now what's going on is that the World Economic Forum is warning and doing games or war games. I don't think it's war games. They're just doing my brain sucks, a replication of what it's like to have a coronavirus type virus for your computer, a virus that acts like the coronavirus, and what they need to do with it. And so right now they're running simulations on what they would have to do. And part of the simulation is shutting down the power grid for a complete reset. Now, I know I'm going over to the dark side with my tinfoil hat on. But the jumping turtle, yes. But the...
No names! No names! You're gonna get me blocked on Instagram.
No! I don't know. When you look at these sort of coincidences and you look at who's involved and you look at these are our world leaders and corporate heads of corporations who are gathering in one place to talk about these situations. I don't know. And then I saw an interesting thing over the weekend that the FBI's database was hacked.
Imagine that.
So, I don't know. Then there's this whole thing that there's a bunch of talk about smallpox, and then they find vials of smallpox. So, I'm just curious on what do you guys, how do you guys take that kind of information when you hear about like the World Economic Forum doing these replications and working things out, and then all of a sudden something happens. When you hear about war games going on before and the day of like 9/11, and then when you hear about like what's going on now, and you see all these things sort of play out, do you tend to sort of slip into that mindset of like maybe we should be paying attention to this, or do you guys just think it's just a lot of coincidences?
Well, I'm not sure like what we can be paying attention to. I mean, like you were saying about streams of information and stuff. Like clearly we're getting information now. We're seeing things like 10 years later, things come out. Like, are we ever gonna be able to see the actual information we have? I mean, everybody says, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm up to date. Blah, blah, I got this.
Right.
So I have a hard time. I mean, clearly I am, just from my perspective, I'm not going to be able to change any of that in a larger setting. So I'm just kind of like cautiously waiting.
Yeah.
hoping at some point we get more of that information. We get like a somewhat good story, not story, but a little bit of enough information.
Something. How about you talking? And by the way, here's the World Economic Forum website.
I like that.
Which is saying protecting critical infrastructure from a cyber pandemic. Cyber attacks on infrastructure services are on the rise. Most recently, the Colonial Pipeline hack in the U.S. and public health service attack in Ireland. Hackers are exploiting the use of the Internet of Things, which creates millions of vulnerable points in critical infrastructures. And on one hand, you're like, hey, this is probably important. We should be probably going over these things, and that makes sense. But then there's the other side of my little fucking monkey brain that's just like, what? Wait a second, you guys are just predicting shit over here? What the fuck's going on? I don't know. How about you talk, Cam? Where do you sit on these kind of things on this?
I mean, you look at the way this country runs things and the back of the money and all the weird occult stuff that they're into, and this type of stuff don't really surprise me. You know what I mean? Like, just looking at all that crazy shit on the back of the dollar bill and shit. You see exactly what they into. You know what I mean? And not to sound like a conspiracy head or anything like that, but I just see things for like how it is. You just got to look at it at the root of it. With all these little phrases that they borrow from the Roman Empire and all the shit that they were into and all the money problems they had. And how that they lasted 250 years, and this country's been around for like 246. So,
really,
yeah,
we're right on it.
Yeah, we're almost there. But that's the way I see it. It's kind of like that, this country really wants to be Rome. So,
we've
been wrong.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff going on.
No, we've been wrong, but then again, on the other
Rome.
We've been wrong.
We've been Rome.
We've been wrong. Yeah. Well,
we did take over the world.
Well, and then and the other side of that is that this is the only country that has really believed in this idea of freedom of speech and the ideas that we do. Like, we have sort of built up this one unique, one of a kind powerhouse that has changed everything for everyone. Our art and our culture, our culture is always people are always biting our shit, like how big is hip hop worldwide? How much is our culture is being stolen all the time?
Hip hop's a black culture thing. It's not an American culture thing.
I would say it's definitely American culture thing. I mean, you're telling me that those black people who were rhyming in the streets weren't American?
I mean, America's a stolen country all on indigenous lands. So.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that we're still not America.
We don't have to, there's no law saying we have to identify as Americans.
No, but I definitely...
That's true. Sorry, keep
going. No, please. I want to hear what you're going to say.
Oh, I see a clear difference between culture and the political spectrum. Like, you identify as American, you carry around, you got a flag in the back of your truck and, all that. And then, because to me, like, there was a time where I was studying a lot of Brazilian music, and I was playing in a West African ensemble, and I love music, and I love, I spent years listening to Indian classical music, and music from all these different cultures. And at some point I realized, like, I play music, I play like culturally American music, jazz, rock and roll, hip hop, all these things come from that culture. And clearly there's influences, but a lot of it was the clash of different people meeting in this country and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, I get that, like, politics, like, clearly I don't agree with a lot of the politics, but culturally I've always identified as playing, like, in fact, I don't even usually say American music. I gotta say North American music, because that's that's like location-wise, that's where everybody met, and that's the music that came out of this.
Yeah.
Clearly, a lot of this music came, I would say, 90, whatever. The number's not important, but, like, this idea of slaves coming to this country, bringing that music with them, interacting with these different things.
Yeah.
You go back and study these things, New Orleans, right? Different than Cuba, where they were able to keep their drums. Different than Brazil, where they were able to keep their drums, right? This music shifted because they were forced to play Western instruments like piano and things like that. So, and, I'm sure there's other things. I haven't done the research of like, you know, what happened when the Mongols took over certain parts. Did the music shift there? Maybe I don't even know if there's any documentation of that. But I think culturally, like there's it's totally fucked up, right? Because this came out of like a really shitty situation,
Right?
Really
but
it's also the music that we fucking love,
right?
And like that's a challenge,
right?
You know,
Under
like,
pressure, a
fucking,
diamond emerges. Fucking
Yeah,
out of
totally.
out of the slums of Brooklyn comes fucking Biggie Smalls, just fucking
Exactly.
swinging,
And
motherfucker.
And you hear like Louis Armstrong play Cold Cart Blues or something. You're
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
Out of the
okay,
brothels of fucking New Orleans comes fucking Louis Armstrong swinging, motherfuckers.
Exactly.
Dude, no, and that's what I'm talking about, you know. And when I'm talking about America, that I love is like the culture that was built here by the people who were put here, and you know, and what we created, not what these fucking douchebags like Joe Biden did to us, and you know, like fuck these people. Those people are actively working against this country and are actively working against fucking. I feel like what this country represented at one time, and I know there's a lot to be said about America and what we've done in the past, but I don't think we should be defined by what we've done in the past. I think we should be defined on what we're doing now, and what we're doing now sucks. But you know, like I feel like we're sort of going into this. We're shifting, right? We're like with all this, the culture is shifting, politics is shifting. And people are either on board or off board, but like shit is shifting, shit is definitely changing, and I'm hoping it changes for the better. You know, that's all I can hope for. But you know, like but I don't know, man. It's hard for me to shit all over America completely because there is things about this country that is great. Like, I mean, there's beautiful places. I know it's stolen, but like here we are.
Flag once.
You shit on the flag.
Yeah, I used it as a toilet paper. It was in you ever been to not Slab City, what's the place next to it with the Salton Sea?
Salton Sea?
Yeah, East Jesus? Yeah, no, not East Jesus, no, Salton Sea, like where all the old hotels are and shit.
He completely dropped off the map.
So I didn't shit on America, but I kind of did. I don't know.
And you know what, Tolkien? I respect your ability and right to do that. Fucking God bless you, sir. God bless you. Fucking God bless America.
It was a really weird, like, just extremely long flag that had been like sewn together. So yeah, it was hanging from like an abandoned building. So I'm like, it's toilet paper. It's all good.
You know, and again, I want to differentiate. I don't approve of everything America did, but I do I love what we've done, and in the idea of music and stuff. And maybe it has some fucked up roots, but if we wouldn't have had those fucked up roots, we wouldn't have rock and roll. We wouldn't have Jimi Hendrix. We wouldn't have Biggie Smalls.
Sure.
We wouldn't have ODB. We wouldn't have Wu-Tang Clan. We needed this shit to happen in order to fucking have fucking the genius come out of it. And so, you know.
See, that's such a challenge when you say like we needed it to happen. Like, I don't know.
I agree.
Would I be willing to give up like Miles Davis for like
not having this fucking tarnish on our history? I
don't have an answer to that. But
no, I understand.
That's a really challenging question.
Of course it is, but here's the thing: it's like reality is reality, and we could always go and live in the past, but that's not reality, right? Like reality is that we're here now, and this is what we're doing. To sit there and
support all those people. I mean, that's sort of my larger thought is like, I mean, it's fucking 2021 and you still have stupid dudes on the internet going like, rap's not music, just people talking. Like seriously, it's 2021. I thought all these people died in like the 50s.
Yeah.
Like.
No, yeah.
So like there is that appreciation and celebration of things like that. Like my life would not be the same without Elohim selling me a tape in a parking lot somewhere in PB when I was a teenager. Like that shit. Like that's the stuff to celebrate.
And like, and when we talk about these things about I mean, how about you, Tallcat? Have you ever been called out for appropriating? I mean, like when we talk about stolen culture.
Yeah, I've never been called out per se, but I know my place as a white rapper not to overstep shit and not to act like, you know what I'm saying, I know what the fuck is going on when I'm a guest in this thing that's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I mean, I've never been called out personally, like, unless you're talking about like battle raps or something. It always crosses some sort of racial.
Oh, you got to
in
battle
that's
rap.
just how it goes, you know, like, and you know, and that's the thing too, is like, it's hip hop, when it started, there was very little white people involved with it. That doesn't mean it was just a strictly black thing, you know what I mean? But that's the thing, white people are guests in hip hop, you know what I mean? It's predominantly, it was started by black folks, you know what I'm saying? And you know, it's most music in this country, it comes from that, you know what I mean? And it's like, the drums are a very powerful piece of medicine, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As with most of us, I've had family and friends die so we can bitch. That pisses me off about YouTube and such. Why can't we have a civil argument and we're not being banned or censored? Well, yeah, that's my big thing, man. And that's where I'm at right now with all this shit. It's like, I feel like all this shit needs to be talked about. You know what I mean? Like, I do feel like this needs to be talked about. And I think it needs to be talked about openly. And I think that the fact that having these conversations, or even the fact that I said that maybe these things need to happen. Oh, no, I said this needed to happen for us to get Biggie Smalls. So, you know, I'll own my words. But the fact that I said that could end up getting me fucked over, you know? And like, I'll just do it to myself. But I think that it's like, I think that's bullshit that we can't have that conversation without someone being like, you fucking white supremacist. You know what I mean? Like,
people are sick of it. And they feel like when they see it needs to be called out. You know what I mean? So
I agree that it needs to be called out, but everything is being called out. Like, there's nothing.
It's because the internet is hypersensitive.
Exactly.
Place, you know what I mean? And everyone's in their feelings.
Yes. How do we correct shit if we can't argue about it? How do we get to the bottom of it if we can't have an open conversation about it? If I can't have a conversation with somebody without them fucking getting offended and fucking feeling like, you know, being triggered and shit, how are we ever going to get to that next point in life in this situation? And you know, I'm not hating on people who get triggered or anything. It's like, I completely understand. I got things that I get triggered about and I don't like talking about, but there's also this thing where in therapy, what is that called? Where you have to sort of lean into your trauma in order to get past it. And I think we need to lean a little bit more into our trauma to get past this shit. A healthy debate is key to moving forward. I agree. Okay, so we're definitely running into some overtime here. Do you guys feel like playing a song for us? You guys?
Hell yeah.
Let's do that.
You feel like getting rowdy? All right, guys. Tall Can and Nathan Hubbard.
We're gonna do a little piano bar.
I love it. We're gonna turn it over to the gentleman here and let them get into it. And he's gonna give it over to Tall Can, and then let's have some fun, guys. It's all you guys. Go ahead.
Thanks for having us, Mike. We're gonna do the when you mentioned it would be cool to do a performance, I was like, oh yeah, but we got this Rhodes here. So we're gonna do a total stripped down version of that, the first single from the EP.
Yeah. Make sure you check this shit out. songofforward.bandcamp.com. Check it out. Yo. Beware the narrative switching up. More than a sunset, glitching, eruption, Jurassic cliffs that rust. I twist the stuff, the sugar bush lips in love. Certain scenery, prickly stairs, pick the buds. Files of receptors, reactors, multiply attractions, picking false pterodactyls. Conversations with elders about how it used to be when the stairs were more than felt. They were swayed visions of vinyl. Without a shelf, a couple collected dust in the corner without help. You can't find self. Tied down to 7 realities, watching the fallen leaves spell. How do fallen lives qualify for resale? I live beyond a wall of seashells. Gasoline in a pop bottle, working at the car wash. Geodes and cigar wraps, they sell you hard rocks, hard facts.
Weed heads don't know how to act when I bust tracks with Hubbard kicking in the back. Life sacred dreams, rockets DMT socking it to ya. Abyss filled with hits, microdots, no more fluid in the tank. No more druids on my flank, so I can sit back and fully think. This shit ain't about earning a rank. Creation patterns infused with dank. I watch the game spin down the sink. The streets are filled with ghosts. Notions, we are mostly wandering around, hypnotized by cell phones and big screens. What do you mean? I haven't seen this much hysteria, well, since forever. Laser beams blinded my eyes. The sun wore glasses, the moon puke patterns of disguise. Yo, I renewed the vision in my life. Yo, I watch the mushrooms and minerals grow. Yo, when will you go outside? When will you go outside? Hurry up and go outside. Song of Forward for life. Songofforward.bandcamp.com. Check it out.
Yeah, thank you.
Word up.
Coming soon to a piano bar near you.
Team, your pizza's ready.
Pizza's
The
done.
Veal will be here all week.
Hey! Thank you guys so much. That was lovely. I appreciate that. Again, everyone, please go. I'm gonna put the links in the chat. Also, everyone on the audio side, Mighty, thank you so much for those 600 biddies. I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Okay. Let me put in these links. Nate. Oh, you know what? I didn't do this yet. Hold on. Let me do this. Thank you. Mate, ooh, you're mate. Ooh, you're so mate. You're very mighty. Thank you, baby. Make sure that you follow these guys. All their links are in the show notes. Actually, I'm gonna drop Tall Cans in here. Let me get this in Tall Can. Are you? What?
New Tall Can Sister Schools. Check that out on Bandcamp. Is it Sister
Yeah,
Schools?
sisterschools.bandcamp.com.
Oh, let me get those links in there. Sister Schools Bandcamp. I'm sorry. We could tell me a little bit about it while we're wrapping up here. What tell me about?
It's just graveyard music, man. Me and the homie Penske also goes by Adrian Anthony from down south in China. Is a really good artist. Does graffiti and a bunch of other dope shit. We've dropped 5 albums so far. The last one we did is dedicated to our friend Bartleby, who passed away. So yeah, and then it's just graveyard music, you know what I mean?
Is
that
this one?
Back.
Cops
Yeah,
give me the
that's that one.
cops
Yeah.
give me the
Yep.
They do though. Hold on, let's listen a little bit just so we can get a taste.
Yeah, knock it out.
Taste.
The intro is just somebody shooting. You know,
Oh shit. Okay. That's tight. All right. Well, just...
Sister Schools. Every day is Halloween, fool. Yo, I'm excited about dying. When I leave, don't get to crying. I'll live on in the shadows of the street light. Souls flying. 2C in a fifth, 25 in a spliff. Bottles of spirits in a graveyard, shooting till I miss. Yo, we live in the abyss. Reflections in the sky deny that you exist. There's a reason I'm still alive. Just seem to find it in the memories of dead friends. Future sun clowning, always in the mood to celebrate life or death. They ask me where I'm from. Sister Schools till my last breath. Collect dust like a coffin. Find eternal step. That means we always keep pushing. Don't get it twisted like a pretzel. My brain's fried. Psychedelic rhymes are always cooking. Off the shrooms, we watch spirits. Retake the night. Tabs we consume. I've sipped enough, lean to reconnect. My breath with past lives, tincture in my tea. Reach a new junction with every 7 step. DMT rips in the graveyard, smoke creeps through my chest. Let the dead homies celebrate this special day, holy hollow night. Elevate every aspect of your motherfucking being. Flying with the moon in the dead of night. Watch the wolves scream. watch the wolves scream.
Wow, man, that's wild, man. That's like, dude, hip hop is going. It's just going in such a crazy direction. It's just like it's just going everywhere, you know, like just in every aspect. I love that so much. It's not just boom bat, you know. It's fucking. It's everything now.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Well, gentlemen, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Nate, thank you so much for coming back on the show. It's been a while. I'm glad that we got to catch up a bit. Yeah, we got to catch up a bit. A little fun fact, Nate and Parker used to rehearse in my studio, and it was nice. I always liked that.
Flowers to you for having us.
Oh, of course.
The first time we ever played 40 Foot Tall, and the first time we ever played Long Distance Runner was in your studio.
There you go. There you go.
40 Foot Tall is such a dope ass song.
There you go, folks.
I was thinking about it. Like that was a nice moment.
Yeah.
Appreciate you being there and like the fact that happened.
Oh, dude. I just appreciated that the place was being used for just more than us just getting drunk and smoking weed in it. That's what we were doing. We made one album in the 3 years that we were there. We made one album in that motherfucker. All right, guys. Tall Cat, Nathan Hubbard, thank you guys so much. We will catch you guys next time. And of course, everyone, make sure you go out and check out their album. Check out Tall Cat. Make sure you guys are following these motherfuckers up. Everybody listening at home on the audio end, make sure you go into the show notes and click on those links. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great rest of your day. I'll be in touch soon. Peace. All right. Thank you guys. That was great. That was awesome. Has meaning and no longer just misogynist. Hey, Admiral, thanks for coming through. Michael, thanks for coming through and supporting your peeps. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. We are going to raid over to DJ Wooby One because I saw your message, Penny, and we're going over there. So, yeah, we're just going to raid over the Wooby. That's how we're doing it. I'm starving. Did you guys hear my stomach growling the whole fucking time? Some dope artists as per usual. Oh, thank you so much, Bon Bon. I told you it was going to be different from Monday, kind of. I know we got on our tinfoil hats and we went there a little bit, but, he sent much love. Yes. All right, guys, we're going to go and say hi to our buddy Wooby because I love him and he is our friend. He is a brother from another mother from across the pond. So we will go say hi to our dear friend DJ Wooby One. I'm sure he'll be out there playing all the jams. So let's go on over to Wooby. We'll be back on Monday with a music stream. It's all music. Politics and art are always interconnected. Yeah, that's what I think. He loves Saucy. Yeah, and I love Saucy too, I guess. I guess he's okay. Yeah, I believe that's true. I believe that culture, politics, and art, it's all interlocked. There's no getting around that. But, I was going to do some after chatting, but I'm fucking starving. I am so... Clip it! I am starving, so I'm going to go eat. I was going to dig in a little bit more into the Rittenhouse stuff, but I think we've had enough for the day, and I'm starving and fucking... Let's just go out and try to find some positivity for the weekend, all right? Bon appetit, Mikey. Thank you so much, Bun. I appreciate y'all. Oh, thank you for the raids. Yeah, everybody get your raid calls. Make sure you, even if you don't stick around, please drop the raid call and let Wooby know that you love him. And we're going to go ahead and get it too. Your favorite today, hello. Thank you for being here. I saw you earlier. Thank you for that host earlier and such. Let me get this raid call going. Boom. Okay, guys. We'll be back on Monday with a motherfucking music stream with JB, Jason Tyler Black. And then next Friday, we got a music stream. And we're taking requests next Friday. So there you go. All right, guys. See you on Monday. Mwah!